everyone. Welcome back to another D20 Live craft stream. Here we are again. I'm Mike.
Oh, I'm Sam.
They'll know who I am.
All right.
Hi.
Fucking hell. Useless people.
I carry this brand.
You do not.
Are there tiny people inside the little box that glows?
Hi, tiny people.
Hi.
Little pilgrim people. I don't know. I said pilgrim.
Yay, yay.
All right. And
I want
Rusty
Rusty.
was already in the chat.
Rusty.
Oh boy. Let's see here.
Those are the best finger guns I've ever done.
Right on.
Good job.
Rusty brings it out of us.
So, what are we building today? Everyone who is here to build things.
Start with you.
Why me?
You
Over
own
there.
this thing.
Right. I am building Titanus from the Power Rangers, also known as King Brachion from Zoo Ranger.
I love that name.
You like the King Brachion?
King Brachion sounds much better than
Yeah, I know.
Titanus.
Right?
Hi, Titular.
Savage crap. Hey, Tippler.
So, oh, and John's in. Congrats.
Yay,
Welcome back,
John!
Glad to know you're feeling better, man. Just enjoy the day, all right? Don't
Don't worry about modding these
Yeah,
jackanapes.
just relax, man.
Just relax and watch things.
All
So,
right.
Mike is...
And
Mike is
only
building.
laugh if you can do it.
I will ban post-stream. It's like, dig your holes now, boys. Dig your holes now.
Okay, so what I'm building is I am making more books because I actually made 4 now out of leather. So these are actually available for sale if you want them.
They're pretty snazzy.
Actually, I want to get. Actually, Sam, would you do a custom one for me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, cool. Can I get it out of red leather for no reason that I will adequately explain, but it's
Can you-
totally related to D20 Live?
Yes.
Can you get one red leather, yellow leather, so it's the existing tongue twister?
No.
it's the physical copy of
No.
tongue twisters. But yeah, no, if you want them, then they're completely available, and you just message me, and I'll
Do it up.
do it up.
Can I see one?
Yeah, go ahead.
I've never actually seen
Yeah.
one.
This one.
Is this the best one?
Yes.
This is the one she lets people touch.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Titanus has bling.
What? He actually has chain.
He has the gold chain.
Is
Yeah,
that
he's-
metal?
He's
oh
the king.
my god.
Yeah, it's King Brachion.
Yeah.
I keep calling him Titanus, and I should. We should just call him King Brachion. Anyway, Jordan, what are you working on today?
My brand.
Cool. It's good to know you're repping it.
You have a brand?
No, I'm joking.
I love the hat.
Thanks. It's memorabilia from Gravity Falls.
Oh, yeah,
No.
That's why I love it.
But yeah, so
Where'd you even find that hat?
I don't really
It's
remember.
fucking great.
Okay, good stuff. Anyway, Sam, you're talking about your books.
well, message me on Discord if everybody's on Discord. Then I will send you to a thing.
This is a great
So-
book. One of the finest I've ever seen. And that's not a biased opinion at all.
I would allow it to have my children.
Plug.
We should just let you sell all of our stuff.
We
Do
really should.
you want to be head of marketing, Jordan?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I didn't brag about it.
Sounds like someone's volunteering.
I am not.
You're being voluntold now. You're
Oh.
like, damn it.
The other
They're asking
kid.
about your kit, Dave.
And
yeah, your
then
Christ, this box is-
I am building a Star Wars model, pose boosted
Ah!
X-wing from The Last Jedi.
with the super snazzy paint job of
Yep.
red with
Red and orange. Black and
with
orange.
trim. Yes.
Yeah, because
Oh, this is gonna be bad.
Halloween in space, they're never going to see him coming.
He's invincible during the month of October.
And Devin is on his way. He will be here
Shortly.
He will
shortly.
burst through the curtain and surprise us all, and then
Yeah.
And flop over everyone.
And surprise us in no way because we'll hear him walking upstairs.
Yeah.
yeah.
So what makes his X-wing boosted? Do you know?
well,
What is boosted about it?
I believe there's a trash can added onto the back here that he pours fuel into.
It's called an R2 unit.
No, there's literally.
Well, it could be an R2
literally
unit
a trash
because it's like a little
can
trash
on the
can now.
back.
But that's where the hyperdrive goes, no?
No, I thought
Or is
that was
that
up
his-
here
that's
No,
not-
somewhere.
aren't the hydro drives internal on the X-Wings?
Yeah, they are.
But it's like a thruster.
Like,
though.
it's not a TIE
like
fighter where
Yeah,
everything's
yeah,
extraneous,
it's
extraneous just in case.
It's legitimately a thrust nozzle.
It looks like an
added to the back.
afterburner.
It is. That
Does-
takes time to charge.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's how space fuel works.
Oh, you guys want to see something fucking cool?
Like, he'll shove it all in there at once or he'll explode.
Yes.
It's got to trickle.
There is one part of King Brachion that actually comes pre-assembled.
The
The whole
plane.
fucking torso.
Oh my god.
Well, that's good. That's half your job done.
Really it is. The reason why is because he's actually got a motor inside him.
It
Oh.
moves!
Yeah, so he'll rotate. There's no way I
Jesus.
can make him move today.
How much you want to bet it sounds like a Roomba? hold on, stop everything. We need to get you a Roomba.
Just
And then you attach the King Brachion parts to the Roomba. And then you have King Brachion that vacuums your floor.
It might break though.
Better than a cat sitting on a Roomba.
That's the best.
It opens up.
Yeah, because the Dragon Sword shield goes in here, and
Hi, Rob.
it's basic. He's basically hollow though.
Yeah, because it's got to
He's gotta
fill it
have
full
the
of.
Megazord.
You got to fill it full of garbage.
And Megazord.
And this giant.
King Brachion, aka the dumpster of the Power Rangers.
But isn't BB-8
It's
the
a
droid
garbage
for
truck.
Bo, not an R2? No, it's an old R2 unit that he hollowed out and then used as a thing at the back.
BB-8 just does the driving, you know. They're all R2 units.
Well, BB-8 is his
Well-
wingman and does like target acquisition,
Because-
helping
because-
And like all of his astromech, like deep space, like his light speed shit.
navigating.
Yeah.
What the
So
fuck
that he doesn't
is
fly
that
into a
droid do?
fucking star.
What, the BB-8?
Yeah, what
It's
is...
just the newest model of astromech droid that does the hyperspace calculations.
And
Oh,
repair work on the inside.
The design-
seems really not a great idea to make it a fucking sphere in
Yeah.
0G.
Was a not sphere going to be more intuitive?
Well, I would think something with more grasping limbs, like maybe something spidery shaped
Actually, surprisingly enough,
that can like move it around and get
you've seen
into,
the Last Jedi, haven't
into
you?
the stuff. Yeah, of course,
He's
come
got
on.
lots of arms.
Come on, Dave.
He's got
Yeah,
lots
he's
of
got toe
arms.
arms. They just store inside him for security.
And like
Oh, okay.
grappling
I'm gonna
hooks.
switch it over to the other one, so that way we can.
That sounds so
just-
wasteful, though. Why wouldn't you just make it spider shaped so it can like get in?
Because no one
It's
wants to be
nitty-gritty.
afraid of their own astromech droid, Jordan. If
We
I
all
hear,
saw that
if
in
I see a
episode
giant
4.
spider coming out of the cockpit of my ship,
No, it would come out of the internals like a daddy long leg.
It's
through a
like-
tiny
and all I'll
hole.
hear is beep beep, and I'll be like, "Jesus, kill it!" I'm pretty sure that didn't last very
Holy
long.
shit!
I think Devin's here.
There's Devin!
Devin!
Kill it with fire.
No, that's a new astromech droid idea, and
Oh.
Disney is very welcome to pay me handsomely for it. You don't have to laugh that hard, okay?
It's fun. It's funny to me because one of the two content flags we got was from Disney.
Well, yeah, but they flag everything.
Yeah.
The fact that they noticed us is a huge benefit to us.
Senpai
Yeah.
noticed us.
Senpai noticed us.
Senpai submitted the cease and
Hilariously.
desist letter.
He noticed us. Shut up.
Senpai sued us.
No, they can't sue us yet. 'cause
Hey, Devin,
Yeah.
Senpai pre
before you make your appearance, can you grab me a soda?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I added a
It-
new case of Coke to the back.
Carbonated soda.
Can
What
I
are you
get a
cutting on? Are you
soda,
just going straight on the
buddy?
table? Oh, okay.
Get a Coke, man. Well, that came out
Yeah,
weird.
all
I don't
we
know.
What
got
are you
here-
doing?
I don't know.
Are you still troll from the fucking Warcraft stream?
No, that went south, and I don't know what that came out as.
We don't have soda up here in Michigan. We have pop. And it comes in different flavors like Fago Moon Mist.
I'm not going to craft anything today. He's just going to be this all day because I've been trying to unscrew the panel.
We
What
keep
panel?
making you
The
laugh.
back panel for the batteries. It's off.
Yeah.
It's off.
Oh,
but
shit.
I've been laughing while unscrewing it the whole time.
So I've cut my hand open several times.
Times.
I
I've
did
been
that the other
I've
day,
been
helping the
impaled.
fucking IT lady.
Oh. Like,
All right, I'm
massive
gonna go
flush.
pair of
Well,
batteries.
get to go home early today.
Unfortunately, I'm also the
Oh,
first aid
boy.
guy, so I had to patch myself up.
I
and
leave
I'm like,
all my drinks open at work because if someone decides to roofie me, it means A, free drugs. B, I get to go home. It's like
I
someone.
don't feel so.
Somebody hit me. Give me the good stuff.
Dameron Poe suffers from a rare disease of mythical proportions. It's called plot armor.
Yep,
I like
Yeah.
that.
sounds about right.
That's why. Whenever we have an NPC that wants to come on a quest with us, I absolutely let them.
Yep.
It's like, you will block all of the arrows for us.
That in no way is applying in Ravenloft.
That's because all of the NPCs are disposable in Ravenloft.
Very much.
Well,
Nobody talk about what happened in Ravenloft.
Well, you can say like that they met Strahd
Yeah, well,
finally.
but
we
you can't
did.
say anything else.
That's a trailer. It's not a spoiler. It's a
Trailer.
trailer.
God, that entire conversation was good.
That was great.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're gonna stop talking.
You
about it.
you'll find out
Tease.
later on
No,
this
I wanted
month.
to set up a marketing
A
thing.
marketing thing?
No,
Okay,
not a
that's
marketing thing.
Ah, you
No, I didn't. I didn't brag.
He's a fucking
You gotta come out to the craft streams more. Jordan.
Damn it.
You
So
can
the rule.
It's a promotion.
We need to figure out. We gotta explain the context now because we made it a thing.
Yep.
Oh,
Of course you fucking.
Devin brought stuff.
Oh,
Jordan,
boy.
Jordan could
I love
sell
how you
lead
put
to
it
China.
right behind Sam, so
Yep.
she in no way can fucking move.
Well,
Okay.
that doesn't mean that I'm not going to move it. Dave is gonna hold
Stay
this.
There's this
there.
whole panel of couch here.
Okay, here we are.
Thank you,
We're
Jordan.
okay now.
See,
I have
Jordan
been
caught
made
the ball.
chef.
We're okay now. We're okay.
Okay,
now.
we're okay now.
We're okay now.
All right, I gotta go get batteries. You talk to the people.
I are love.
Okay, so Jordan came up with this thing that
It's a rule.
It's the rule
Yeah,
of
it's
D20
a
Live.
rule.
If we've bragged about it, then we have to do it.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
that's how promotions happen around here.
That's how
Right,
I ended up with editing all the videos.
You got a little space there.
The Sam
No,
bag,
actually, no, that's not how you got that job. You complained about the editing we had previously,
Well,
and I
that's
said,
not hard.
would you like to fix it?
That's a humble brag.
That is
though.
a humble brag, though. It
That's
is
Like,
therefore
it's
bragging.
so bad, I can do it myself.
Yep.
And you're like,
And
sounds
so we did.
good. What's that?
Apparently
It's
has
the
its own
first of
fire.
it's the first of the. I
of
recently
battles.
got all the King Arthur Pendragon PDFs printed.
A
So-
crap
Where
ton
did,
of
where did you
books.
print them, Devin?
I'm not going to say that because that is either bragging or a paid promotion or marketing.
Captain Humble Brag.
Yeah,
I am humbly bragging.
These are actually really well printed.
They're nicely printed. Yeah, exactly. I think that is their attempt.
It's
to
almost
actually...
like you used some good paper from someplace that you didn't buy it.
Okay, there. No, he's
And the printing quality is top notch, almost like it was off of a machine that you couldn't afford at
we
home.
couldn't afford at home to print. Yes.
Yeah, we lost that quality of printing when Kinko's shut down.
Yeah, isn't that weird how you need a giant machine for that level of printing quality?
Right.
Odd.
Oh, yeah, these are the books you got bound from.
Check out the paper and the printing quality.
Who the fuck did you rob?
That's
No
what
one,
I'm
I
alluding
think.
to.
No one, and I hope my friend isn't watching, but it's probably
Oh.
more likely that his
Oh, there
family's
we go.
business is like, oh, you are getting married. You want stationery here. This is the quality. Like,
It's very nice.
it's very nice.
It looks great.
It is.
You're
Yeah.
not saying where you got it from. Like, you can just say a friend.
Yeah. No, I did.
Helps
I did.
with
A friend.
that, yeah.
A
I'm
friend.
making
A
fun of
friend's.
him about it.
Oh,
A
I
friend's.
see.
Yeah. A
Because
friend's.
you're being Jordan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright.
No, a friend's friend's family has a printing business. So
Oh.
he did me a solid.
Oh, Devin.
He also did all of our other friends. Like, I'm the only one who runs Pendragon in our group, so he printed me off the stuff, and then decided to print all the books for all the players. Even though the players only need the main book.
Oh, Devin.
Yes, sir.
I have a little bit of bad news for you, but it's also good news. Guess what is finally available for sale?
These nuts.
5.2 core book for print.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
Chaosium has it on their site now. I'm going to try and run an order in sometime over Christmas so I can fucking have the book. There's no way it's going to get here before the next stream.
What series? What?
Speaking
Pendragon.
of Kingmaker. Oh, Kingmaker Troll. Kingmaker
Nice.
Troll.
It does sound like a Roomba.
It does sound like a Roomba.
Oh, is that? Oh, you got him.
Kingmaker Troll.
Nice. That's the boss from Module 2.
Yes.
Oh
Is he?
man. Yeah, this is the guy that landed on Tom and farted on his face when he died.
D&D does, like, booster pack nonsense for miniatures. So I'm like, you know what? For the hell of it, I'll pick up a pack. And that guy came in the pack. I'm like, I don't need to buy anymore. I'm okay with this.
You know,
Yeah,
because
I got the
I've
Stag
decided if I
Lord
ever
from,
finish an adventure
Reaper.
path
You got stuff.
and there's a
Nice.
model for
From
it,
Reaper.
Yeah.
I'll get that model
Yes. Yeah.
for it. And
Mm-hmm.
so if we ever beat Kingmaker, which we should, I hope.
Eventually.
Yeah, I'll get the green lady.
We'll work on it.
Sure.
And when I finish Curse of the Crimson Throne with Sam and her team, I'll get Iliosa Travasi.
I don't know what that is.
She is a giant evil bard.
Nice.
No, she's not huge. She's just a
So
queen.
Sam.
No,
No,
but a
wait,
bard.
what?
No, she's
giant
fucking
now.
dangerous.
No, but a bard. Ew.
She's my arch nemesis
She kind of is.
because I refuse to have a diplomacy that's less than hers.
There you go.
Never mind, Devin. Just imagine all the ways a human character
Yeah.
could have a high charisma score in Pathfinder through evil means.
Oh, there you go.
She's done it. Yeah,
Interesting.
like
okay.
both of the ways you're
Ambitious.
thinking of. I don't want
Yeah,
to say because I don't want to
okay.
spoil it for Sam.
Oh.
Bards are like, I want to be a wizard, but only on the weekends.
Yep.
Every other time, I want to be a fucking rock star.
Yep.
So.
No, bards are like, but we don't have to fight. We could just.
Much to the chagrin of our
non-painted
barbarian.
Oh my god, he gets pissed
We don't
every
have to
time you
fight,
guys
we
do
could
not
just
get into a
fuck.
fight.
So to show chat what I'm working on today. Well, okay, I'm actually working on our soundboards or echo
Yeah.
boards or whatever they're called.
Sound
Baffles?
blockers.
Damn.
Sound blockers, sound dampeners. There you go. I'm also doing ruins.
I'm sorry it's so far up. It's just that was the only way we
Oh.
could get more table space.
Yeah,
Why
so-
would anyone
What are the ruins
build
for?
ruins?
Ruins is for our immortality campaign, actually.
Who's?
The hours. Not D20 Live, but
Yeah,
like.
well, then don't say ours then.
Well, okay, well, fair.
Personal,
It's the personal hour
Okay.
that we may end up like eventually filming, but it's the Iron Kingdoms campaign that we're playing.
Oh, okay.
And they need ruined buildings for the next time we actually get together to do it.
I'm glad it's holding together well.
Yeah, right. That's actually sorry. So to be fair,
That looks really good.
Sorry for giving you a hard time.
Jordan actually did one or both of these. I can't remember which. I think it's both.
Alright, so.
I can do things with my hands.
On the occasion when called to.
Yes.
It's not when any of us can watch it on stream.
Just not now, because
Shut up.
To be fair, if I had my own crafting thing, there is not enough space. So I'm going to be the bass player of this particular stream.
Is that what you're calling it?
Just be the background support.
There we go. There you go.
Well,
Alright.
at some point we're gonna have to just get a bigger crafting station. Period.
Yes.
Because
or a fish-eyed
Bigger,
lamb.
Alright.
everything.
I know Dom's getting into miniatures too, and at some point he's gonna say, "Hey, Mike, can I come over?" I'm like, "You can come over. I don't know where we're gonna put you."
But-
He'll just come from behind the curtain and be like, I made a thing. He's like, get back there, Dom.
I finished my first thing. It's like we don't care. It's like,
Back in the
No,
hole.
no, we'll be
Back in the
polite.
hole.
We'll be
Back in the
polite.
hole.
We
Good
care
for
very
you,
much.
sweetie. But you're out for longer than 7 seconds, and it throws off the webcams. But
Yes.
we had 8 people up for that. Shut up,
Shut
Dom.
up, Tom.
No, we care very much, and we would be very proud of him.
Wait, Tom, Dom, or
Dom.
other Dom?
There's no other Dom. Oh, Don.
Don.
Don, the head of Con Bravo.
Okay.
Who are we talking about?
We're talking about our Dom. Also 404's Dom.
Little
We should
guy,
get, like,
hair.
guests.
What for Christ's sake?
Little
Or
guy
something.
has hair. Yes, that is
We
his
do get
description.
guests.
Guy, what has
Literally-
hair?
Literally, our stream
Yes.
next week on Sunday is going to be a pure Pendragon as pure guests.
Yeah, but I mean, it's... We could have, like, between two ferns kind of interviews. It'd be hilarious.
That's amazing,
Because we would ask our own questions.
and they would be stupid.
You see, you say
They
that,
would
but
be
I'm the
the-
one who
we
has to
would-
do the interview, probably.
We would just waste everyone's time.
Absolutely.
So, you made a game, you made an add-on. Why didn't you just make a fit that expansion? Wouldn't that have made you more money?
It's just like, just crooked.
Okay, how about this then? What are questions you would ask a game dev to piss them off?
Oh my god.
For
it's gotta-
for
Where to
tabletop.
start?
You gotta really be careful because you gotta ask questions that sound like legitimate questions.
Yeah.
But actually aren't when they think about it.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
they're just like dumb, reactionary fan.
They're effectively statements, cutting statements.
Like,
fan service.
Like, I didn't see you at the stream of Many Eyes. Why was that?
Oh, that's just cruel.
Is that too much?
That's cruel. Wait. Who would we be? Who is
Shunning.
Who are we shunning with that question?
I don't know, because the only I can't think of any of our guests period that we've had up to this point who've had the capacity to be there, except for maybe Mark Meir. But Meir's out in Calgary, so I don't see us having him down here anytime
Does
soon.
Mark Meir do
Have we
any
asked?
streaming at all, other than the time that he was at our live show?
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of stuff. Because he was at Stream of Many Eyes as the world's most powerful level 1 wizard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know,
That's
right?
amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
I love the sound of that.
we have a question.
Tipsler's asking
that?
which version of Iron Kingdoms D20 are second.
Oh, the second, the new version of
Standalone.
second edition from Privateer Press. I keep forgetting that technically is a second edition, but
What would
Yeah.
an Ernest P. Worrell build look like in Pathfinder? I'm not familiar with what Ernest P. Worrell is.
I have no idea what that is.
Someone Google it.
Someone context.
someone provide
We
context.
are
Jordan, you're
regretfully
not
ignorant
crafting. Get
fools
out the
who only
phone.
understand
God damn
things through the world of tabletop. Your
Hold my
words
drink.
confuse us.
Oh, my drink.
Hold my beer. I gotta
Oh, my beer, gotta get my phone.
Okay, those are all open for now. Let's go get.
Nope.
I got my phone. I can have my drink.
Ah.
You will eventually get it back. Yes,
Oh,
that's the
God.
right piece I need.
Did you get trapped on my chair?
I don't know what happened. I don't ask questions a lot.
I ask all the questions, and that's why I'm informed.
Okay, sorry.
That's the
Since
airport, Dave.
you have been talking about Pathfinder Kingmaker, how do you feel about the stats the companions have in the PC game? I hated them and had to mod the game to make their stats not
Oh,
shit.
hey, there's something you can ask.
That's what Mythic says.
I haven't really played Kingmaker that much since we played it that first time. Oh, that. So it's Boken.
Oh,
It's Boken.
Oh, him!
No, there's less intelligence. involved.
Oh, Jesus.
Boken's smart.
Hey, Bros is here.
hello.
Not much. We are just goofing off, chatting, being idiots. You know, the usual thing.
I feel about this. So how do we feel? So someone who has played much of the PC game.
Yeah. How do you feel about the companion stat blocks, Jordan? Because you played it more than I have yet. Although the fans are asking us to do another group stream of that.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, a lot of the companions in Pathfinder, the PC version, they're built very strangely. Like the Paladin is a key example of this, where she's built so defensively, but the game really penalizes you for being defensive, so she's not very useful in a lot of situations. I've seen some YouTube videos of people who have downloaded mods that allow them to adjust the stats of the companions.
Oh, really?
And to make it makes them more rounded out. Or
Okay.
even, I suppose if you really wanted to, you can min-max the shit out of them.
I was gonna say
Can't
tolerable.
you do it in the game anyway? Like take over their leveling?
You can, yes, but you get them in a certain archetype or pretext
right out of the
or
gate,
whatever,
yeah.
and you can't establish their initial stat blocks.
Okay.
So, for example, the Paladin has a very low strength for a fighter. So she's not a Paladin. She used to be a Paladin.
Oh
It's
yeah,
her
the
story.
Tower Shield chick.
The
Yeah.
Tower Shield one, yeah. So she's got like incredible amounts of Constitution, which is all fine and great. But then she's actually a warrior, so her saves aren't super awesome. So she's really just a HP sponge, which doesn't do you any favors when you're getting lit up by fireballs.
Nope.
Well, you think my theory was that she was there just to not outshine people who decided to build fighter out the gate.
No, and obviously I mean, the main archetype for the character, you can tell, was designed to be the first preset character, being the male fighter with the Morningstar flail
Yes. Yeah.
and the shield, and he's a dual weapon fighter with a shield,
Okay. All
which
right.
is a great concept.
Which is a good concept.
I've never seen that in an MMO game or like an RPG game before.
Yeah.
Usually he's a two-handed
He's a
fighter.
two-handed fighter or a sword and board.
something.
Well, he's usually a two-handed fighter because that's really broken.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously. And so she kind of offsets that, but if you make the main character the shield type...
Flail snail?
What?
Flail snail?
Yeah, the flail snail. You then
The
get...
problem is you agreed to it before you thought about it.
No, it's best to not ask questions in regards to
Apparently,
names of phrases.
Ernest
They had
is
to-
scared
they did.
stupid.
Who's
And-
scared stupid?
Oh, they're asking an Ernest P.
Oh,
World
Ernest.
from Ernest Scared Stupid.
I mean, Ernest is a great character because he would end up... You'd have to make him a halfling because you need that luck save.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. So true.
Because he is in such precarious situations all of the
All
time.
the time.
But
Permanent
lucks his
peril.
way out of all of them.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure I have a ruler in here.
Permanent.
So you would need rerolls. You would need. There's not a high intellect, but he does have a reasonable wisdom.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would go dexterity, charisma, mid-level wisdom. I would dump into.
Dump int
He
completely.
is not smart.
Also, I'll make him average
No, but
strength.
he yeah, an average strength.
An
yeah.
average strength, yeah.
See, I see him being like a real gadgeteer because I remember I don't know why, but I remember him always making like weird.
Yeah, he
shit.
was like a repairman or something like that,
Yeah.
wasn't he?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
remember exactly. I was a
I
kid
feel
at the time.
bad not remembering.
But he has a
Watching the hell
familiar
out of this
too.
stuff.
What?
The dog.
With a
Oh
familiar,
god,
yeah.
his dog, yes.
But if you actually look at the rules, you can get an animal companion at any time. It doesn't
Yeah,
really
yeah.
matter.
For any
It-
race,
a
for any
pet.
class too.
You can
Yeah.
get a pet.
Yeah, a pet.
Gabrus is asking what everybody is building.
I am building Titanus, also known as King Brachion from Power Rangers / Zero Danger.
I'm making more books because I have more. I have 4 books here that if anybody wants to buy them, they're made out of leather and they're all hand sewn and everything. And if you want them, please message me.
Campaign journals.
Yeah, campaign
Real
journals or
They'd be great for
sketchbooks.
campaign journals.
I'm
Actually.
literally going to use one for the next.
They'd be good
game.
props for roleplay.
Yep.
They would be good sketchbooks.
Sketchbooks. Yep.
You
Because
say
it
you want
is sketchbook paper.
But you say you wouldn't be good at marketing.
If you want a super fancy diary, some people are into that.
They're not lined,
Sorry,
unfortunately.
journal.
Journal.
They're not lined, unfortunately. They are blank pages, but
Yeah,
That-
but
that
that
just
gives you a
makes them
chance
better.
to use
Yeah.
your fountain pen.
Yep.
yep.
And
Yeah,
then you
indeed.
can
Fountain
fuck up
pen.
all of the pages with your
Yes,
terrible,
fountain
terrible
pen.
How
writing
much?
like me.
They're $35, not including shipping, because I have to. It depends on where you are. Shipping costs
Son of a bitch.
They are not
What
very,
did you just
That flew.
They're not very heavy, so I don't imagine the shipping would be
Cockpit
too
ejected.
crazy.
No, they're not heavy at all. The only reason why
Sorry.
they cost that much is because the leather is expensive.
And
So-
actual leather. It's
And
not like-
actual leather. Like, this is real leather,
so
guys.
it's not pleather, it's actual
Yes.
really
Yes.
realsies leather.
This is like legit cow.
It's real Corinthian
It's
leather.
made of real animal.
Made a real animal. But yeah.
Real
so they're
Cow
Corinthian
didn't
leather.
die, so we could undercharge.
so they're $35.
Who didn't die?
The cow.
It actually makes it more water resistant than it would be for pleather, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, check that
And
out.
actually, it doesn't flake. That's the other thing. The actual leather. If you were to take these books
It would
and
age
use
really well. Too.
yeah, they'd age really well as long as you used like mink oil or shoe polish leather that you can get at any shoe repair store. That would last for years and years and years.
Like
and
you
years
use
and years.
probably a bunch of different leathers. I mean, even anything you would put on like a leather jacket or something.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
for those of you who actually have a mink at home, you can squeeze your mink. And
I prefer to grab mine by the tail and fling it around in circles real fast.
yes, the centrifugal.
The centrifugal
juicing
mink.
method.
Yes.
Centrifugal mink.
You see, I used to have a mink, but it was black and white, and all it would do was release a bad smell.
What's the oldest non-game based fiction those in room have read?
Oh, Lord of the Rings.
That's a great song. Well, yeah, I mean, Lord of the Rings kind of takes the cake as far
Really?
as everything goes.
Like, I mean, what came out first? Lord of the Rings or The Once and Future King?
I have no idea.
Shakespeare, obviously. Older
Yes.
than
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Mary Shelley's Frankenstein goes back pretty far.
Beowulf.
You read Beowulf, I forgot.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, Beowulf is
That's-
probably the
that's it.
oldest.
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, oh, crap, I read Journey to the West, Monkey King.
Journey
Yeah.
to the
Yeah,
West.
the actual Monkey King and his Amazing Adventures.
Yep.
That's pretty old.
I mean,
That's quite old. Yep.
I mean, I don't know where it sits in relative to Beowulf, but
I'm actually not
Oh,
sure either.
I think Beowulf, I've read is actually a rehash of.
You live in the UK. We have a fan in the UK, guys.
We have a bunch of them in the
Hello.
UK.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I think the oldest thing
Hello.
I've read is the Book of Five Rings
Oh, yes.
that's
Yeah.
by
a real
Miyamoto
classic.
Musashi.
Yes.
Miyamoto
Yeah.
Musashi.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it
read
was
that
like,
too.
what's
Coffee
the
too.
oldest thing? Oh, the oldest Once and Future King came first.
Isn't
The
it-
full
isn't-
one.
What's the oldest thing any of us have read? Bible.
That's what I was about to say. I'm like, does the Bible
think-
count?
Well, yeah, I went to Catholic school, but I don't count that as something I
Fuck
read.
that, I
for
think Beowulf is older, my dudes.
That was a terrible story.
Actually, it was
the
a series.
Bible's a terrible story.
It's a series.
It's a series.
Oh my
is.
god!
With
The
multiple
Bible is
writers.
technically an omnibus.
Yes. So true.
The extended canon of the Bible is so intense. I've tried so many times.
I love the
The
Old
current
Testament.
current IP holders are really
happy.
insane about what's canon these days. Oh, that's getting put on a shirt.
Oh, man, Tom's gonna kill us.
What?
Tom's gonna kill us.
Oh,
The
he'll
holy
think it's
people.
Tom will think that's fun.
Tom will think that's funny. Yeah. He's
Tell him when you see him next.
I will. I will.
Unless he's here on Friday.
I love the Old Testament. It is some of the most like metal stories in it.
It is. Yep. Job.
Not even Job's like light core.
Yes,
There's
Like,
like, these are Job's real gentle.
Saga of Gilgamesh, Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
I was
That's
gonna-
what
I
it's
was
called.
gonna say-
You know,
It's
I've never read Romance of the Three
Ooh,
Kingdoms.
I'm
Gilgamesh.
trying to get a copy of it. The problem is, I think I have to play Dynasty Warriors first to really appreciate it.
I think you got to read that and then read Dynasty
I will
Warriors.
explain. Because the problem
Why don't you
is,
play Romance of the Three Kingdoms the game rather than Dynasty Warriors?
Because I'm lazy and shut up.
Oh,
He
okay.
was losing the argument, so he was like,
K-Bros is saying, Mike, you made a promise. What's the deal with White Wolf?
Oh, fuck, yeah. Someone asked me to explain to Devin
Okay.
what the fuck happened with White Wolf. And the entire debacle with that, because Devin, you don't know what happened.
Oh
with
yeah,
it.
I remember mentioning that. Yes.
Yeah.
They didn't
yeah.
So
the White
here's
Wolf.
what happened.
They said the Great Wolf.
Yeah.
So you remember when EVE Online started to really be kind of hit its stride properly, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
White Wolf said we want to make an MMO, which was a terrible idea because that was around I want to say 07.
For like White Wolf said, I want to make an MMO of
Period.
EVE
Just
Online.
period. Just they wanted to make an MMO.
Oh, in general.
Yeah. And this was around 07. This was after the boom, and everyone was already rolling their eyes at the new MMO of the jour. This was when like Guild Wars 2 was coming out, and you had to be really good. Like really, really good. Not to say whatever they were going to make wasn't going to be good.
Okay, I need water.
You don't have to justify
I need
it.
water.
But
Make it go faster?
But yeah,
Oh.
Blue.
so what happened was they went to the EVE Online guys, which, to be fair, if I was going to go to a guy with a group of people to make an MMO with a deal, I would not go to the EVE Online guys. I would need to be fucked like that.
Okay.
It's not saying they're bad people, I'm just saying, I've seen their economy and they applaud it. That's in their game. That kind of
EVE
psychology.
Online?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a psychology I don't want to dance with for my general IP. And they
Okay,
want to
for
make
the
it, of
villain
course, on their most
family.
popular IP, Vampire the Masquerade.
Okay, yeah.
Now,
Of course.
now, in theory, all of this would work, but nothing ever came of it.
Yeah,
And they
nothing came of the vampire MMO, yeah.
And they went into the red completely.
Oh, really? Oh,
And
wow.
they got bought out by the company who makes EVE Online.
No way. Really?
Yeah, no, that's not.
Oh.
It gets worse.
Huh.
This is how I understand it. Okay, so if I'm wrong, you're welcome to correct me. Afterwards, what happened was they got split up into 3 groups. What happened?
Tipstillers were
Oh,
the latest
last
comment.
time canon was discussed on the Bible, combatants used actual cannons.
Can you throw that out in the garbage?
Sure.
Thank you.
Oh, that's fucking.
Keep going, Mike. I can hear
It's
you.
on-
All right,
on the
Oh, it's
far
on
so-
the
side
other
of
side?
the table,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So somewhere along the way, they got sold to Paradox Interactive. Right? I can't remember what games Paradox.
Paradox, eh?
Yeah, I can't recall what games they made. Jordan, you probably remember better than I will.
Paradox makes a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, I can't recall it because I don't really play a lot of their games.
They're a big publishing studio.
Okay. And Paradox took the IP. They got split 3 ways as a company. 2 of those splits are called White Wolf.
Okay.
Because we like to be confusing. One of them is called Onyx Path. Onyx Path is doing a lot of...
Oh, Onyx Path.
Yeah, those fucking guys. Onyx Path are the ones who are doing like the 27 different Kickstarters, which I still don't agree
Hold
with.
a fucking second.
There is still... The problem is the LARP IP... And the... Jordan, can you fix the curtains behind you?
Oh, yeah.
The LARP IP and the tabletop IP are now with 2 different companies, both named White Wolf, which is
okay.
weird. If I've
That's
understood it
confusing.
correctly. And on top of that, Onyx Path is a different group, which is full of old White Wolf writers.
Okay.
Like it seems like it's a lot of the Scion and Exalted guys, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Onyx Path, yeah, publishing is World of Darkness,
Yeah,
Chronicles of Darkness, Exalted, Scion.
yeah. They're the ones trying to preserve everything the old way, right?
Yeah.
If I'm understanding.
Well,
it
they
correctly.
did a 3rd edition of Exalted, but
No
yes,
one
they're
liked it.
yeah.
Because they spent the entire time yelling at the fans about how Second Ed wasn't good.
yes,
I'm like, your fan base doubled during that time. You really might want to piss those people off.
yeah.
We're tired of errata. That's great. Just make your canon a little simpler, and just say the old books still work.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't tell them how to fuck up their IP. They figured that out all on their own.
Now,
Most companies do.
now the
Don't you
problem
tell
is
them how to roll.
White Wolf, when it still has all of the old staff in it, which is
Oh, God.
And
and
like staff members.
yeah, a lot of the old staff are
What?
still in one division or another, right? And the thing is,
B Squad.
White Wolf was back in the day very infamous for we do one brilliant thing, but we'll also do one thing you'll go on.
Okay,
Like this was a really bad idea.
sure.
They were incredibly infamous for this. Devin, you've read a lot of the old
Yeah.
vampire books. You can back me up on this. I can't think of specific examples.
I played Vampire the
Yeah.
Masquerade. I know all I need to know.
I usually found there to the clan books were fine, but a lot of their setting books were just that they tried to detail too much of what was going on in the city, and tie everything that happens in the city to vampires in one way or another.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time it became very repetitive because there was only so many ways that they could write that the prince does politics.
Like, it's so silly, though, because if you were a vampire in a big city, you would want to lay low as much as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense they would have their fingers in some politics, but
Yeah.
all of it? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Well,
so
there's a nifty idea behind. Anyway,
That's how you get Blade Trinity to happen. Like, someone's going to show up, and they're going to have something to say about your aspirations.
But I love the stupidity of that movie. It was a great camping movie.
it's
I'm not
only a
saying
great
do
movie
it.
because it's basically the movie that got everyone on the idea that Ryan Reynolds was going to be Deadpool.
Yeah.
No one argues that point.
Like, I'm not
Yeah.
saying that
There's
Blade
nothing to
Trinity wasn't
argue.
good. I'm just saying that's how you get something like that to occur to
to
your
occur
vampire,
to your
vampire kingdom you've built.
yes. Yeah.
But yeah, so and they're starting to get heat now because now tabletop is much more inclusive. Although arguably White Wolf was the inclusive group
White Wolf was the people who started the inclusivity
by
of.
having because they were really in with the alternate crowd.
Yep, exactly.
If I'm not mislabeling that.
Yeah, we were alt.
What's the alternate crowd?
That's where you can start mislabeling, and I would recommend not starting that conversation.
I want to have this conversation.
No, I don't.
No.
Well, you
we
do.
don't have
I don't
that
think Mike does.
I don't.
Come
I don't
on,
either.
lads. Let's dodge some landmines.
I'm good. You know
We
what?
don't
I'm
have
good.
that time.
We don't have the time.
We don't have the time for all the sidestepping we'd be doing for that nonsense. But yeah, so and things have finally reached a head because now tabletop's more popular than it's ever been, and White Wolf is still White Wolf. They're still the other well, not as much, but where did my piece go? Oh, there it is. It's behind Brachion's head. They're still one of the oldest companies in the game, and they're just popular enough that if they do something stupid,
They might.
it'll get
survive.
noticed by everyone.
Yeah.
And I cannot recall what actually happened that got their current CEO fired. But it had to do with,
There's only a couple of things that ever get a CEO fired, Mike.
well, because it was
Was he sucking on necks?
Well, of some kind.
Was he sucking on necks?
It's either he bottomed out the company, or he was, or HR had something to do with it.
it had something to do with the latest book that came out because there was I feel bad because this was a terrible tragedy. There was some treatment of God, I don't want to say it because I don't want to get it wrong, but I cannot recall what the incident was. There was some international incident, and they were saying a vampire clan was behind it, but I believe it had to do with homophobia.
Oh, okay.
I think, was
Wow.
this mentioned in our Discord a time or two?
Yeah.
That ain't good.
Oh, yeah. Those
V5
are
in
us.
death camps. Yeah.
B5 in the death camps, yeah, and it was the thing is, this is the kind of move White Wolf would do back in the day. They would say, yeah,
Chechnya, yeah.
yeah, Chechnya, yeah, there you go.
Hilariously, I made a comment, be like, because someone one time said, I'm making my players do 15-point buy. I'm like, what is this, Chechnya?
And everyone corrected you, like, dude, don't do that.
I had, nobody corrected me. I had no idea that Chechnya was a White Wolf thing, and there was an issue there regarding that.
Yeah,
I meant, what is it, the third world country of some kind?
yeah.
Because we don't have enough points to go around. That's my joke. And then I
Soviet
fell
Russia.
into that tiger trap.
Oh, yeah.
It was
just
sorry,
right-
it was death camps in Chechnya, and they were saying vampires were behind it, right?
Yeah, no, I
Now
fell
here's
right
the-
Soviet Russia.
I felt
you
like it-
share points with party.
I fell right into that punji stick fucking mess.
You're our head of social.
What?
Got promoted, didn't you know?
Congratulations.
I thought it said social and marketing. Now I gotta stop talking.
Doing it
Words
so
are
well,
your
Jordan.
enemy.
And you know what? I forgive you
For what?
for your mistakes, and I'm helping you grow.
By giving you new responsibility.
By giving you
You're
fresh
delegating. Stop lying.
Yeah, but yeah, there were death camps in Chechnya. I do apologize for not recalling it, and they specifically because this is the thing. White Wolf would always use modern events. In Scion, they were pretty tasteful about it because in Demigod, there's another, and I brought this up in the
Wasn't there
Discord.
one before Chechnya too? Like there was like a
Oh, there's tons. There's tons.
The Falkland Wars or something.
Yeah.
like something fucked up before that. I don't
Yeah.
know what it was, but
Like,
I heard about that.
Like the one I like that they did was the one in Scion, where they said there was a Scion who had of the Loa who had a set of drums that summoned storms, and hers got stolen, and then Hurricane Katrina happened, and she doesn't know if it's her fault,
Ah, okay.
right?
Yeah.
They don't explicitly say that, but
Right.
they're like, Katrina just happened. Is it my fault? And she's living with this guilt of it, that
Okay,
it might
yeah,
be
yeah.
her, right? That was as tasteful, but that's as tasteful as White Wolf ever gets about that kind of thing with the modern era.
Yeah.
But they've always been doing this kind of thing, and they finally got caught for it because we're in a very reactive environment. This isn't the kind of time when you get a. This is not the kind of time where you make that kind of mistake on such a public scale, and you get a slap on the wrist for it, saying, "Just don't do it again."
Yeah.
You've
No.
you've learned your lesson.
I don't know. I mean, I can see them trying to be like, "Hey, everyone, look at us. We're so edgy," but
Yeah.
it's like you guys
It's-
gotta Google it, man.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not. It's
Google
not.
it.
It doesn't work anymore like that, unfortunately.
Do you have a paper towel square?
There.
You need to clean off glue.
That has
Oh,
glue
yeah.
on it.
Oh, okay.
How you doing,
I
Sam?
just
How you
need
doing?
to steal a little
I'm
square.
just stretching out my legs
Oh, I see.
because my legs are
You're
very.
stopping my work.
Yeah, yeah.
Your work. I was worried you one thing. Congrats, Jordan, for being promoted to social head.
Well, you've been acknowledged by the team.
Yeah.
You're
And the fans.
Words are your enemy.
Sorry, the end of NGE was used as a desert.
Yeah. That's because the end of Evangelion. I don't know why people are happy that Neon Genesis Evangelion is coming out to Netflix. I'm convinced it's been so long since everyone watched it. Unfortunately, current White Wolf is full of aging engineers. It is true, but there is some value to being to kind of going to an extreme, and that's what White Wolf was for the longest time. It was that place where you would go to. Why did I take a sticker off before I screwed the piece? I'm a moron.
I think that White Wolf
You're
is
mad.
is full of people who have like wallet chains or just like fighting the.
Shut up.
They're not allowed to have wallet chains anymore. You have a wallet chain, don't you?
Yes, he does.
It does.
I did. Yeah, you did. That's the point. You moved away from it.
Don't you still have a watch?
That was months ago.
The point is, you saw the light.
You saw the light.
I
I
was
needed
pulled
to
from-
upgrade my
we're
wallet
talking
because
about
it was
wrestling
falling
and
apart.
Okay.
There you go. That's the actual truth.
You ass clown.
But yeah, no, it's just.
Clown.
It's not the era where it's not an era where you can be edgy. I am fully convinced we're gonna go back to that very soon.
Edgy?
Yeah, being edgy again.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
I mean, it's all cyclical, right?
Yeah.
So-
But I
Because,
just got rid of all my edgy stuff.
Sorry, Sam, we gotta buy it again.
No!
there will be a new hot topic.
No!
I'm fully convinced we're gonna come back to an edgy era because there's a real hunger for that content that isn't safe, like really, like comfortably safe.
You know what it is? It's when society inevitably ends up calming down, edginess will come back.
Yeah,
Yes.
which I think we finally are after
I don't know,
10
man.
years.
I'm gonna give it another 4 easy.
Of people,
Right.
of people
so
being
right when your daughter's gonna be just at that age where it's
Just
gonna
at
be
the age where it's gonna be-
really
Oh, she's
Yeah.
already there.
annoying.
Except she's doing like 90s grunge.
Oh
Oh,
no!
interesting.
It's not so
Okay.
bad.
It's not the 90s anymore. Like,
Dad, could you take
You
me
say,
to
"Oh, it's
Nouveau
not-"
Hot Topic?
Nouveau hot topic.
the
It's like,
hottest
oh,
topic.
The hottest topic. Oh no!
Onyx Path is cool though, less edgy. Oh, dude, the shit Rob Hagen, the shit I've heard about what Onyx Path put through, because they're now saying Onyx Path said for the Vampire 20th anniversary. I've heard this from one of their writers. One of their writers said that she wanted to do tattoos and body mods to make that a thing for werewolves, right?
Okay.
Why?
Just because you trans werewolves, just to have that in there as an option for people.
Sorry, what? Start what?
She wanted to introduce the idea of werewolves using silver to do body mods on their bodies.
That sounds like constant pain.
But why?
Because you can't, any mod you make to a werewolf body stays unless it's
Stays.
done with silver.
Yeah.
That's been canon.
No. And any mod that you
So
do
the
to a
opposite
werewolf's
of that.
body goes away
Yeah.
and it heals unless it's done with silver or
Yeah.
has silver in it.
Okay, sure,
Yeah.
sorry.
So they were going to say, oh, we have werewolves who are trans because they use silver scalpels to make the surgery, right?
Yeah.
That's what she wanted to put in. The White Wolf straight up said, no, you're not going to do that. Why not? Like, is it too edgy? Is it too much? She's like, no, it doesn't work like that.
Like, just generic, it doesn't work like
It doesn't work like that. But they're like, here's the articles you still have about body mods.
Yeah.
And all that. Why doesn't it work? It just doesn't. And that got
So
shut
they
down.
just shut it down.
Yeah,
basically.
and there's literally now a werewolf clan that has existed for years that now openly hunts transgender people.
Ah, that's not.
Yikes.
Mm-mm. That's
Yikes.
going to be in the 20th anniversary book. I've been told. I have not seen that book to confirm it myself.
Cool. Well, rest in peace, that
Wow.
company, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my problem with Onyx Path has been the same one it's always been. They may be a decent bunch of people. The Kickstarters are just. But I've said that ad nauseum. I don't need to go over that for the 1,000th time.
No, you don't. I've never heard one of them. Just
I haven't heard any of them, but no, you don't really need to.
It's like, I've heard one. I don't need to hear any more.
Yeah.
Of Mike's rants about how
Of how anything works.
About how anything
I can
works.
fix the world.
About anything and all things.
It's like, I love you, hun, but it's always the same rant.
But everyone's doing
so.
it
What is
wrong.
Evangelion about?
Neon.
Okay.
God.
Evangelion.
I'm gonna explain it
What?
because I'm the guy who did the fucking crack article.
Is it
about
Evangelion?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Neon Genesis Evangelion.
That's not how you use a G in a
Evangelicals?
word.
I know. So here's the idea.
Evangelion.
Rob,
That's not how
Rod-
G's work.
Okay.
Rob, I want to come back and have a question for you afterwards after Mike's done. So,
Ask the question now.
oh, okay. I'm curious what the writers, the writers who you know, what their experiences are working with Onyx Path. It's just that, and
Because there's legitimately cool people who write for them.
yeah, I'm just curious what their experience working with the company is, because I've seen such a disparity in writing quality, and I'm wondering whether that's whether they give a crap enough about the source material, or whether they're just trying to get their money and get the writing done and move on. because they've had a bad experience. That's all I'm curious about.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Back
Mike.
to Evangelion.
Back to Evangelion. So here's the concept, Jordan.
Explain this
Shinji-
to me because I've seen people go just like cream themselves over this, and I
All
don't
right.
understand. Watch out!
Watch out!
Okay, hang on. Is it stopped? Is it
It's
stopped?
stopped.
Are we good?
All right.
Okay.
It has stabilized.
Stabilized. Okay,
So
cool.
anyway,
Okay, so yeah, so this hot woman calls him out of nowhere.
and says, "Your dad needs you for something. Come with me." He's like, "Okay, well, why won't you explain this to me?" "Fine. You're gonna pilot a giant robot." "The fuck you say?"
So he had no idea giant robots existed at this
No.
point. Okay.
Yeah, it was.
He had
it
no
was a
idea that.
secret.
Did he even know that angels existed?
Nope.
Nope.
No.
Despite the fact that there have been two different cataclysms in
There's
two.
two.
There have been two separate
They're trying to
cataclysms
start the
where
three.
aliens have come. They're saying it's.
They're not aliens.
They're not aliens. They're from the planet.
Now the stream is in 1 frame per second.
Well, that's them catching up to the drop frames that we
yeah,
just had.
we just had a bunch of drop frames, so
Yeah.
they're catching up.
So
Loud.
basically, despite the fact that there have been two incidences where these giant monsters,
First and the
Have-
second impact.
yeah,
Yep.
the first and second impact, there have been two incidents where they have come and hurt human civilization. Shinji has no idea that this has ever happened.
Okay, so
Because
was it played
very
off
good.
as like a natural?
Pretty much.
That's-
Yes, essentially.
Okay, see, I'm following. I'm
Yeah.
following along. Okay.
So Shinji's dad says, "Get in the robot, son." Shinji says,
No.
"Hi, Dad."
Long time.
long time.
Why do you want me in the robot? Get in the fucking robot.
I need
Hug?
I need you to pilot the robot.
Hugs, please.
Just pilot the goddamn
pilot the
robot.
robot.
Fucking robot.
Dad, can we talk?
No.
If you do not pilot this robot, everyone in this room is gonna die.
like right now.
Right
Right
now.
now.
Okay.
Pretty close to
And
it.
Shinji
And then-
gets in and is like, "Why do I feel what my robot feels?"
He gets in and then he blacks out and then it skips like to the next day where they don't explain anything because they didn't have enough animation budget to actually show the fight scene until episode 3.
It's kind of like what they did with the first battle in Lord of the Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
So
Where
So
Tyrion
then-
gets knocked on the head
so
and wakes up the
then
next
so
day.
then
Yeah.
so then Shinji's having an existential crisis because he's like, my dad doesn't want to talk to me and everyone just is yelling at me to get inside the robot, but I don't want to get in the robot because all I do when I get in the robot is feel what the robot feels, and now I feel awful. Why? So
So 26 episodes passed.
it's 26 episodes.
So you're real selling me on this show.
Don't watch
They
it.
are missing. They're not. They're leaving out very large
Okay,
chunks of things.
So fine, I'll throw in a part about one of his two girlfriends who are never going to touch him as a
3
person.
girlfriends.
Oh yeah, there's a third one now.
Yes.
I
So
don't
what
know
makes
her-
them his girlfriend if they're like he's repulsive?
Okay.
Or if you
Because
count
they're
Masato.
shipped that way.
Ugh.
They're what?
They're
Okay.
just.
Okay, so
They don't want anything to do with him.
They
now here's the.
don't.
So
I'm
what
not,
the
I'm not
fan
gonna
base
explain. I'm
does-
not gonna explain why these only these kids can pilot these robots because it's bullshit. It is
What do you mean by shipped that way?
ship as in shipping two people together.
He doesn't know what the term ship is.
Sam, please explain that. I'm not. Good
It's
at
when it's when you try and pair up 2 people like
Yeah.
non-canonically and be like they're gonna be together forever, right? So that's what shipping
You're
is.
sending them off on a ship to the sunset.
It's a relationship.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a relationship. That you,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
So I'm catching up, man.
And
worries.
stuff that
So-
isn't canonized
So yeah,
by
the
the
first
Vatican.
girl he meets is a girl named
Ray.
And Ray has the emotional quality of this table.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of marks in it, but it doesn't really seem to make much of a difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 We eventually learn that Ray is a clone of Shinji's mother.
Oh,
What do you
What?
mean I popped a boner at mom?
okay.
Yep.
Now, you might think Ray has a personality.
She does
No.
She does not.
not.
Sorry, guys, I have my volume.
We're going to have
on.
to clip that one.
That's the best moment.
Oh no.
So
This authentic moment was brought to you by...
D20 Live.
So,
Oh man.
the other girl is Asuka. And there has never been a more heinous she-bitch in the history of fiction than Asuka.
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 Is there paper towel or Kleenex?
Yes.
Yes.
Yonder.
It's over there.
That's what I was going to get
It's
for you.
right by the other side of the container.
Thank you.
Okay.
Her name's Asuka.
Okay. You might think
Asuka
Asuka is a
Langley Soryu.
spunky redhead, but no, she's just heinous. She's just the worst person.
Like Rusty was like, Shinji's a still better main character than Titus from Final Fantasy X. Dude, that
Yes.
bar is so low.
It's like-
I was
you
so
are
pissed-
absolutely right, but
Jesus.
that's not a high bar.
I was pissed at the time I had to play Final Fantasy that featured Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
So Yeah, and then
I was
there,
like, what?
and then like there is the
That'll
other,
make me
like there was
snort
the
out
the
snot.
original like hot girl person who's like 20, and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna.
Oh, by the way, yeah, sorry, we left that out. Shinji currently lives in an apartment with the hot 20-year-old woman who brought him here, and she frequently gets shit-faced around him.
This sounds like a natural problem that'll solve itself.
You'd think that, but it never does, because Shinji never just,
Goes for it?
yeah.
Oh.
Shinji never goes for anything.
Shinji's a bitch.
Yes.
A little bit.
Got it.
Now, the thing is, every time, Shinji is supposed to be a great pilot, but the only reason why he is a great pilot is because he blacks out in his cockpit, and then,
Actually, he wasn't even piloting then.
He's just
Yeah.
yeah,
They
so
just-
the robot just does the work.
yeah. Also, so then what happens is
Beast mode.
so then what happens
Reason
is
being
Rob
is the
Hagen- Rob
robots
Hagen,
are alive.
You can like Asuka? I don't care.
Asuka.
Oh,
You can like Asuka. You can even love Asuka.
That's
but
a
I'm allowed.
man.
Japanese, you don't pronounce the U.
yeah.
If it's like that, if it's in the middle, you don't pronounce the U unless it's at the end. So it's just Asuka.
Also, plot twist.
But
all of the
that's-
robots are giant, genetically modified, kind of clone monsters.
Of the aliens.
They caught one.
that
They
are-
They're
caught
not-
one basically, and they've been cloning it, and they mount armor on it to make it a frame.
They're not.
Cool, that
they're
sounds
not
right.
The
aliens,
armor
though.
controls.
So wait, whoa, hold on. So
And
he
that-
doesn't
and
feel
therefore
what
the
robot
armor is
feels.
alive.
He feels what the angel made of the robot feels.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's not a good.
Because
Because there's like a
they have
neural
to.
connection.
There's a neural connection, so they sit in this weird goopy shit.
Thank you, Lord Cheese.
W-
Jesus
wall in the
Christ.
bomb pit.
He's
Oh, Lord Jesus Christ just host us. Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
so, but yeah, so, so then what happens is they're trying to fight
Oh,
all
and
the
Asuka
angels.
lives with him too, and she. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
She only moves in when she shows up.
Yeah, she only moves in when she shows up. So,
Only immediately.
Yeah.
so they're like, okay, cool. We need to stop Third Impact from happening because Third Impact is a bad thing.
You know how we said there's been 2 impacts every time an alien
Yeah,
succeeded
yeah.
its goal?
It's
The
not
third
an
will be a-
alien though.
Whatever the fuck they are.
Angels. They're angels.
They're
Like
called
actual
angels.
angels, or are they just
They're-
called
they-
that?
they-
They're
called
called
pretty much
angels,
called
but
angels.
you'll understand in a minute when I explain what the fuck happens with the angels.
Guarantee I won't.
So what
I
happens
still
is
don't.
so what happens is that basically all of the Avas, which are the robots that everyone is driving,
Got it.
all the Avas are actually clones of angels, but
Yeah.
not quite. So
Genetically modified clones.
genetically modified clones. So
That
it
sounds
kind of
reckless.
means that they have DNA from humans, because there's a thing. There are 3 different types of angels. There's Adam, Eve, Lilith. Adam became humans. Eve became the Avas, and Lilith became all of the other angels.
Angels.
So what happens is that the Third Impact happens when one of the Adam or Eve, the
I'm
Avas,
so confused.
gets merged with Lilith, then Third Impact will happen, and then thus
End of day.
end of days.
So
Or-
I'm not gonna watch this.
Don't. It's a mess. And the last 2 episodes of the series are literally, they did not have enough budget to draw anything. There's literally 20 minutes of, not 20 minutes, sorry, there's at least 5 minutes of just squiggles being drawn.
What?
Not kidding you. There's literally
It's
5 minutes of
bullshit.
squiggles and, like, character concept art being shown on screen.
It's pretty bullshit.
It's so bad. I have a friend who used to work at the animation studio when they were actually doing this entire project, and he's like, "Yep, this was a giant mess. The guy's crazy." And
And by the guy,
nothing-
they mean like the
the
producer.
director.
Hideki Anno.
Yeah,
Ah.
the guy who made it. He's just insane. And ever since then, people fell in love with it because they thought it was so cool and so different. But they're like, there was no money in this.
I mean, it is so cool.
It is- it
and
was
different,
yeah.
and it's neat, but at the same time, it makes no sense.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, like the best explanation I've heard for Ava is, imagine a show that's trying to take the piss out of giant robot shows,
Sure.
where you have a boy who got a robot from his dad,
Yeah.
and he's got 2 girls that are into him, one who's feisty and one who's demure and the proper Japanese quiet girl,
Sure.
right?
A mech show combined with a harem show combined with a
Yeah, well, that's where what
Yeah.
a lot of mech shows were.
yeah.
It's a huge deconstruction of that. The problem is, 1, Space Runway Ideon happened years before. 2, Gundam happened, and both of those are better shows.
And Diebuster.
And Diebuster, yeah,
Way better.
Escaflowne.
Yes.
yeah,
Yes,
Escaflowne
yeah.
is also better.
Which was, what is it?
One time I watched the
Yeah.
entire first season of Escaflowne in like one shot,
Oh yeah.
and
How did you feel after?
I was like, I either need to I need a giant robot in my life. That's where that went.
As we all do. Yes.
Yeah. If giant robots existed and we could pilot them, I would sign up in a goddamn heartbeat. So
Yeah.
they would never accept me.
I would force myself to get in shape to fucking
Pilot.
be even shortlisted.
Also, to each their own, but I do think D20 Live is wrong about Ava. I do think it has a lot of problems, and it certainly hasn't aged well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hasn't. The
To
new
be
stuff
fair,
is cool.
The reason why I have such a hate on for Ava is because I actually wrote the Cracked article. Cracked actually had a website, and because you remember when Cracked used to have pages where they would cover topics, right?
When they were useful? Yes.
Yeah. I did the one for Evangelion.
Okay.
And I just wanted to take the piss out of it with shits and giggles, right? So I was as negative as you would because that was Cracked.
And
Yeah.
Oh my god, did the hammer come down on me.
Wow.
By like everyone who found it was like, I searched Ava and this is hot garbage. I didn't have the resources to handle it then as I do now.
Okay.
But it was, yeah, I don't have very good resources to handle problems now anyway, yeah.
It's okay.
We love you.
Love me
Yep.
too. But it was just the most heinous criticisms of people. It's like, he got stuff wrong. And I vetted it with like a lot of like experts and stuff. And I'm like, did I get it wrong? It's like, no, you didn't go far enough.
You didn't go hard enough.
You should have took the screws. I'm like, no, it's got to be a jokey article.
So that's a good question. Actually, it just got submitted in the
Yeah.
Twitch. Is
Yeah.
Have you ever had a GM drop a huge surprise on you with a secret? Sorry, I'm going around the tripod with a
Yeah.
secret about your character you didn't know.
Hi. I've done that.
Devin is
I've done that
lousy
to.
for this.
I do that too.
It's
Lots of
literally
people.
his bread and butter.
Yeah. Actually, Rob Hagen, which post-apocalyptic LARP? Because I have friends who make a lot of those things, and I'm just curious. It'd be weird if we know the same people, but not altogether unexpected in a small niche hobby. So what was this question?
I
Have you
literally
ever
read it out
dropped-
loud
I know.
to
I
you.
don't know.
He's rereading it.
Have you had a huge GM drop in a huge prize? Oh, okay. Well, it's not really for me to answer. That's for the 2V to answer. Most recently, I did it to Sam.
Yeah.
But
Dinaka saying, what
but
space
it was
runway
gay.
did he on? Look it up. It's Ava as done by the guy who created Gundam, basically. It happened before Ava, and you will watch it, and you'll be really mad about how much is
I don't-
copied from it.
I don't think I've ever been in this position where either of you have dropped like a secret I didn't know.
Sam, have I ever done that for you?
Not one that I didn't know.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
'cause I
usually like
Yeah.
give me
Because
some.
I check stuff beforehand if it's okay to do that.
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
usually it's can you give me a background on your guy so I can work with it?
Yeah.
Is more
Yeah.
usually what happens.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm asking Sam about that. Ever since the first big
Yeah.
development in our character, every other subsequent development was I've talked to her about. Because you should. A good GM should do that. They should
Yes.
always have these are not just your characters. Your characters are the NPCs. The players' characters are their own creations. Always talk to your players. The big secret of who Sam's character is related to in the Arthurian mythos was a sort of off the cuff kind of thing that I did. And like, this would be a cool thing to do. And then I checked with her immediately afterwards and said,
Yes.
"Are you okay with it?" But
I freaked out.
I was improvising, saw that she freaked out, and then, like any good GM, walked up
Did
to her
it.
afterwards and said,
Are you
"Hi,
okay?"
are you okay with this? We can retcon this."
And then I freaked out because you did that.
Mm.
Because I've never had a GM before that do that, and I was just like, "What is going on?"
They're checking in with me.
Oh,
You did-
one of our fans on YouTube is trying to defend
No
Evangelion.
fucking way. Rob, would it? Okay.
Dystopia
I
Rising.
know Dystopia Rising. That's weird. I'll message you on Discord because I was like, conversation topics. Never mind. Anyway.
So yeah, the issue with that is you also get in really dangerously close to railroading players, and you
Yeah.
generally want to avoid that if you can.
Yeah, of
I mean,
course.
it's
Exactly.
it's a useful tool. It's just if you beat people over the head with it, it can go real south real fast.
Yep.
D. Croc, is there any post-apocalyptic LARP in Ontario?
Dystopia Rising.
And the other one.
There's Z World now. There is.
No, there's that the one you guys used to have a rival. Your guys used to have a rivalry with.
It wasn't a rivalry. It was just
These
that.
ones are
That's,
We were
it's-
clearly better.
No,
than
it was
them.
no, it was. It was not a rivalry. It was just we had to work around each other's schedules because we were on the same site. So the rivalry was just like, fuck. They scheduled their event over our event again.
When the
We're
fantasy-
mad at them.
It wasn't Apocalypse World. It was.
when
No.
the fantasy LARPers and the sci-fi LARPers overlap. And
Overlap way too
real
much.
weird.
Fake elf ears and
We had-
ears went flying.
We have a very limited pool of players, guys. We can let's not compete for them.
Okay.
Um,
Sorry, I just have to say, Cave Roast, I understand that you really like Evangelion. It's just Jordan is not a really big anime fan, so that's not a good thing to start him on.
No.
It's just
Elegy,
It's-
thank you. Elegy. Jamie's
Fuck,
Jamie's game.
I
It is-
nearly started on it.
it's really hard to get somebody into anime when you show them the really big like stuff like Evangelion or Akira or
He'd like Gurren Lagann.
he would like Gurren Lagann
Oh,
because
man.
it's silly, right?
Budget goes mad.
Right,
Really,
but
I heard Akira was really good. Is that like really
It's-
heavy?
It's,
It's really-
visually brilliant.
it's visually
Okay.
brilliant. The story, unfortunately, is really condensed because it's literally 2 phone book sized, like,
6.
six
Comic
phone book
books.
sized like novels, graphic novels
Wow.
that has been condensed into an hour and a half.
Okay, so you really have to get the context.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like, there's
it's
just-
really hard to watch it and not it's really hard to understand what's going on because a lot of it gets skipped, unfortunately.
So it's kind of like most of the scenes in the show itself are they're kind of like
it's a movie.
drawn out, like favorite scenes from the book.
Pretty
sort of
much.
thing.
Yeah.
So
So it's
it's
not
not-
even a show, dude. It's a movie. Hour and a half.
Oh no, that's
it.
what I mean.
Yeah.
But I had the same thing when I was like when people are when they ask me what my favorite book is, and I say, oh, my favorite book, hands down,
Okay.
no questions asked, is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Douglas
Okay.
Adams.
That shit is like my jam. It got me through high school. One of the best books I've ever read.
Right.
Now, when I say this, people are like, "Oh, I didn't like the movie very much." And I'm like,
It's like
"No,
It's
but
a
the
movie!"
but the movie's not. The book is not even close to as good."
It's effectively the condensed version.
That's what I'm
Oh
saying.
Jesus.
What
And
happened?
so you
You
get
trying to throw something?
No, the hobbyist problem. I drink a lot of tea whenever I'm
Oh no,
hobbying.
you almost
So I
drank
was
the
like,
paint.
I almost put the paint in the Coke. Never mind if I
Ah!
actually have tea. There's a very specific reason I keep like my coffee or tea over here, like way over here when I'm painting, and my water pot here.
Don't worry,
That
we
way
got
there's
you, boo.
there's no possible way. Ever since I actually did that a couple of times years ago, I mixed in paint with my tea, and then I took a sip and like, oh, so much poison,
But yeah.
so much, such.
so
Yeah.
like explaining to them like, no, the movie doesn't make a lot of sense because it skips over a lot of context in the book.
Which is
Like Hitchhiker's Guide
Oh,
to the
yeah.
Galaxy. Like they never explain the spaceship and why it uses
Yes.
Full
realities to travel. They never
Yeah.
explain
He'd
why
like
He would
Hellsing.
he would love
Hellsing.
Yeah, you need to watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
I've
You really do.
seen from
Yeah.
Alchemist
And
I can't
Helsing
get
as
into
well.
it.
Yeah.
And he's
Can't
seen
get into it?
season 1 of Overlord. I let him borrow it from my thing.
It was pretty good.
Yep.
I mean, the concept was cool. I liked the first couple of episodes. It kind of fell off a little bit, but I feel like they started it with one flavor of what they were trying to do, and it's like it's subtly shifted.
Okay.
I kind of want to see what your thoughts on Goblin Slayer are.
That show is not standing up well to criticism.
I saw the first episode and it really put me off.
Yeah, it puts
Okay.
off a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like it's I get that they tried to do gritty realism in regards
doesn't
to
stick.
really fantasy.
No.
Like,
It doesn't
but it
stick.
was like it's really cartoony fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then threw
then it
gritty
gets
realism in it. I was
crazy
like,
dark.
It's
fuck's
you know what it
sakes.
is? It's a guilty pleasure show.
No, that's cool. I mean,
Like
if you're-
no, not even for me. Like just that's the only way I can categorize it. Is you don't watch it
Yeah,
because
the
you're thinking,
people who I know who watch it and enjoy it watch it as a guilty pleasure and actually make fun of it as often
watching
as
it.
they watch it. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I do want to abridge it though, because I think I could actually abridge it and make it really good. But that's just me.
Well, Tipsler really doesn't like Goblin Slayer.
It's fine, you don't have to like Goblin
Oh yeah, no, it's
I look at that show and I'm watching. I'm like, this could be so much better. I know exactly how to
Well,
fix this
nobody
show.
has to like anything. I mean,
No.
it's whatever. It's all.
And we do
preference,
apologize to those of you who are Evangelion fans out there if we offended you with our opinions. We're not trying to do that.
It's just we've all watched it, and we're all
We're just
all,
not
all the
fans.
people who here have watched it. We're just like, no, we don't like it
Yeah.
because it's not.
That's fair.
It's
not
not for us.
not everyone is going to like every anime. Not everyone is
You
going to
have
like
every
every
right
book.
to love it, and please do
Yeah.
not think our thoughts against it are.
If you want to
Constructive.
discuss politely, just go on our Discord and message them directly. Talk about it.
I'm sure there's a lot of
not
people
message me
on the
directly
Discord
about
that loved
Evangelion.
it. I'm sure there's a lot of people there that.
Oh
loved
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Um,
I just don't like it from the production standpoint because of the fact that it's just a mess. Right?
Wait. Let's move on from that because I don't want to. Because a few people in our chat I saw were not having a good time with us discussing it. So let's move on.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
not here to hurt our fans.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm here to give them tension, but not. pain.
Well, I'm here to hurt them, and they love it.
Moving on.
Head of social
Head of social and marketing.
and marketing.
Jordan, you've been demoted.
So no. This is a Firefly thing.
Yes.
And it's like, what does he do on the ship?
Uh.
Public relations.
With extreme prejudice.
With extreme prejudice.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
But yeah, Goblin Slayer is bad Berserk fan fiction. I completely get behind that analysis. The only reason I think Goblin Slayer is doing at all well is because its animation is better than the Berserk anime that's out now.
Well, no, okay. I
You're
actually,
looking at me like
I'm looking across the whole room. I'm trying to be inclusive.
I actually like Ark's description of what Goblin Slayer is. It's not the next Berserk. It's the next Elfen Lied.
Oh my god.
Because Elfen Lied is only really known for the first 15 minutes, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much what Goblin Slayer
Naked
is.
Chick destroys a bunch of people with invisible arms and hurls their bullets back at them.
And rips off the head of a really...
What is happening in Japan?
Elfen Lied
There
came
is
out...
a serious problem that no one is addressing.
Elfen Lied came out like years ago.
There is a
Years
serious problem that no one is
Okay,
talking about.
We cannot tell Jordan about serial experiments, Lane. Let's just not do that. Let's just not do that.
So occasionally I do dabble in anime.
Yep.
Just because it is everywhere and you guys talk about it lots, so I do try to participate.
Yeah.
You'll never be a true fan.
Okay, shut up.
I'm a bastard.
A girl
We've been at this for an hour, and I've only gotten the head done. But you know what? I'm enjoying my
a
conversation.
girl at work one time was like, "You speak Japanese, right?" And I was like, "No." Why would I speak Japanese? She's like, "You just kind of look like the kind of guy who would."
Oh, fuck!
Ow!
Ow, yikes.
It's like, cool. I don't, but
There was a
thank you.
whole lot of preassumptions wrapped up in that sentence.
know.
K-Bros,
It was really
Monster is actually really
Whoever
suspenseful.
tells you Monster is trash is lying. That shows the entire story was amazing.
It's-
Although I would prefer reading the manga to watching it. That's just me.
It's,
Apparently, also,
Monster is really good.
Oh
Like,
my
it's
God,
just...
I was on the edge of my seat.
It's so suspenseful, and I love it. And I'm like, oh, man.
Oh, that's-
in response to Hagen's question, I've never actually watched My Hero Academia, even though I've been told that I apparently did and got most of my inspiration from Mutants and Masterminds from it. I don't.
You copying
I'm such
You
a...
watched enough of it that you're like, shit.
No, I
Stop.
legitimately watched a trailer. I was like, what is this thing that people keep... What is this thing that the rest of the D20 Live crew is watching and says that my concept for my... was so close to it. I went, okay, I watched a trailer and like, oh, it is close. And then I intentionally didn't watch it.
Yeah.
So I didn't take further inspiration from it. So that is a question for Mike and Sam, because I haven't touched it at all.
Well, the thing is, in My Hero Academia, the idea of being a superhero is actually a paying job.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
And what they did in Japan, it's a lot like, have you watched Tiger and Bunny?
No.
Okay,
No.
so that explanation will do no good. The idea is that not only are you a hero, but you have a bit of marketing built around you as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Much like a Japanese idol, because you know Japanese idol culture is that huge
Yes.
thing that it is.
Yeah.
Jordan, Japanese idol culture.
Yeah, thank you. This is why.
If you want to know about Japanese or Korean idol culture, just talk to my fiance. She will tell you all about it and make fun of it and express
Still love
all
it.
the problems with it at the
How
exact
does
same
your
time.
fiance feel about the KDA music video?
We
Pop
haven't
star.
talked about it yet. I'm not
The
sure.
League of Legends music video?
I'll have to ask her about it.
You'll have to, because
Yeah.
that's an opinion I want. She's been an expert for ages. Okay,
Yeah.
so you know how Britney Spears is like this huge kind of was a huge icon at one point?
Yes.
Yeah. Imagine that added with the efficiency of the Japanese
At marketing and commercialization
and like refining one's product and refining one's
Okay.
music and all that.
To what end?
It's much more fanatical.
It's scary.
Like we
Oh, so it's like in general, like
Much more intense.
like idol worship in their culture.
Yeah.
Got it.
and it's way more intense. Like didn't we see
Yes.
Japanese
Isn't it
guys
idolatry?
here in Mississauga
Yep.
for J-pop bands that were here for the cultural day?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's how hardcore they go. They'll fly, and just be there to support their girls. That's these people's job is to support these idols.
Okay.
I
forgot why we're talking about this.
Well, we were talking about
We were talking about My Hero
Boku no
Academia.
Hero Academia,
Right.
But I had to explain idol culture to explain that. So, as a result, they now have schools to train people to be
superheroes. Okay.
yeah,
Alright.
with all the talents and stuff.
Ah.
And there's not like that weird twist on the end of it. It's like it's secretly evil. No, they're legitimately training these kids.
Okay.
So
All right.
they could be beacons of society and be able to, like the idea is
Wait,
we're going to send you out and deal with people with guns. We don't want you to get 10 people killed. We're going to teach you crisis training. We're going to teach you hand-to-hand combat. We're going to teach you negotiations and tactics and things like
But
that.
wait,
So they're basically
how do these
being
kids are these kids started off as normal kids?
No,
No.
everyone's born with a superpower
They're all
now.
born with it.
Oh,
In fact, it's
okay.
incredibly rare to be born without.
And Deku was born without.
Who's
So-
Deku? The main
The
character?
main character.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
I'll be right back. I gotta go get a pet.
Cool.
Deku's like this huge, like incredibly lovable, nerdy
He's basically
hero fanboy.
us.
Oh, okay.
Hero fanboy who has like these huge documents on being a hero because he's trying to train to compensate for the fact that he's a little kid made of bones.
Made of meat
and not a
water.
and not a
single
superhero made
power
of
to his
steel.
name.
Ah,
And I guess I can spoil it because you have no intention of watching it.
Go for it. It's
Um,
up to you.
Yeah, I know. But I
Devin, I mean, you have
Yeah,
no
no,
intention
no,
of
no,
watching it
no.
anytime soon. The first episode starts and he meets the top hero in the world,
oh, okay.
a guy by the name of All Might, a guy whose physical strength is such that he can punch fire and it'll go out. He has just that much control over it.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So wait, he
Still
punches
not
and
as
the air
powerful
blows
as
the
One
fire
Punch
out.
Man.
Oh yeah, he'll create a vacuum with his punch, kind of thing. He's
So
just
it's like One Punch Man,
except he cares.
Way weaker.
except way weaker. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, he actually is. And
Just-
he finds out that All Might's power can be passed from one generation to the next.
Okay.
And All Might chooses him as the next inheritor
Okay.
because he does some really cool heroic stuff, and that's
Sure.
where the show goes from there. He gets admitted into the top school, into the top class, and just his
Okay.
adventures as in school because it's all school stuff with.
That
This
doesn't
is-
sound like much of a spoiler, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Well, it's the
Yeah.
first. It's the nice twist of the first episode, you know.
That still doesn't sound like much of a spoiler.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like something that would be in a trailer.
Yeah.
It actually
and
is in the
admittedly,
trailer. Shit.
It is
There
in
you
the
go.
trailer, but I didn't understand the context of the trailer. Like I don't quite what why is what is going
Well,
on
like,
here?
there's things like hero rankings in it. There's
Speaking
Because
of that,
we
I was
know how the
there's
Japanese
entire
like to
like
rank things.
companies.
I
Like,
watched half the first season, I think, of like a certain scientific railgun.
Yeah. How'd you like that? Because everyone keeps telling us to watch it.
It's not bad. It's got some cool concepts. The characters aren't honestly the worst part for anime for me is the characters I find are just fucking insufferable. Like
In
just
many
completely
cases, yes.
incapable of solving any basic problem
Without breaking down.
without falling.
Rusty
into,
asked a question, but we missed it. Rusty, what was your question?
Without falling.
Oh, here you go.
Yeah.
Devin, I'm thinking of putting 2 lightning claws on my new Corn Berserker in the evil campaign I'm in. Is that a good idea?
You mean in the
His Dark Heresy game, I think.
Are you talking about Dark Heresy or the Black Crusade where you play Chaos Space Marine?
It's the one where he's playing this is evil campaign as a Chaos Space Marine.
Love it.
More blood for the Blood God.
Yeah, but lightning claws are so not their shtick, man. Why aren't you doing like double power axes or go home, buddy?
double
Dark Heresy. He's saying Dark Heresy.
Dark Heresy. Okay, so it's you're doing a blood. You're doing a blood letter,
So
like a
30K.
corn follower with lightning claws.
Corn Berserker, yeah.
Yeah, that's aesthetically it doesn't fit,
doesn't
but
fit.
honestly, it's
It's
damn
cool.
cool. It's damn cool, and
If you're doing night
the
lords,
rules
it would make
and-
more sense.
and the rules exist for it. Without issue, the rules exist for it. So I think that'd be very cool. But I think the problem is unless you're GM homebrew stuff, most of the corn bad guys are based off of weapon types, so axes and that sort of thing, and they don't really have anything for lightning claws. So your GM would have to house rule a bunch of feats.
Yeah, you
So,
get,
for lack of a better
you
term.
get a chain axe with adamantine teeth.
Mm-hmm.
That's if you want to go that way thematically. There's nothing mechanically against that.
Sorry, Jordan.
Yeah.
I'm covering you.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, there's nothing thematically wrong with it at all. So
No, thematically, there's everything wrong with it.
no.
The Blood God does not condone sneaky tactics. You run at their face
play
and you die in
however
the
he
grinder.
wants.
And that's how this works.
The blood god condones raptors, and raptors have lightning claws and jump packs that drop on you from the sky. How is that not a sneak tactic?
Because if you were a true corn raptor, you would have chain fists attached to your power fists.
See, it sounds like you're overcompensating.
And those-
No,
and the-
you
and
are.
those-
For
and-
your own canonical inconsistencies, it's 40K. Why we're even worrying about that is even a thing.
And those power claws have chain axes in them.
Because once you
Just
hit
because.
a certain point, there's diminishing returns on how badass you can be, and it just becomes style points after that. Okay.
I am up to date on another good anime based around an MMORPG is the I've never heard of that one.
Horizon?
I
I've
keep
not
hearing
heard of
about
that.
it, but I haven't
I like
watched
that
it.
one. It's good.
What is Log Horizon?
It's one of those. It's like Sword Art, but better written.
That's
Oh.
not hard.
I know.
I'm sorry, Sword Art fans, but it's not the creator's best work. But then I'm a huge fan of Excel World.
So, it's effectively an MMO that people got trapped into one day,
Yep.
and yeah,
It got suffered by being labeled as too close to Excel World, didn't it?
maybe.
See, Rusty's saying that, like, should he have dual lightning claws or one ranged weapon in the other hand? Like, buddy.
No. If you're gonna do a corn, if you're gonna do any kind of a corn follower, don't do a ranged weapon. Only because they don't give you a lot of bonuses. You're gonna be jumping in and you'll get a single. It's not an additional attack. It's pistols. It's been too long since I played Deathwatch. We need to fix
Well, like,
this.
doesn't
but
Karn the Betrayer have a plasma pistol?
Karn the Betrayer does have a plasma pistol because it's a plasma pistol.
Yeah.
Not a.
Plasma pistols, well, they do burn. They burn. But, well,
it's
everyone loves melt.
Corn cares not if you explode.
Corn cares not if you're on fire.
If you
That's what I'm saying.
if you the main benefit of a pistol, other like in ranged, is that most pistols versus melee weapons in Dark Heresy and Deathwatch have a better rend, and you have more shots with which to do more damage, and they have an equal rend to your chain axe. That's the only problem with melee versus ranged in Deathwatch.
Yeah.
In that world, is that you're going to mathematically, on average, do less damage with a melee than with a ranged shot.
Yeah.
But you can get more attacks. The feats that work around close combat characters give you more attacks to compensate for that.
Rusty is saying, well, what if I just had a flamer? Yeah.
Well,
that's solid.
That's solid. That's
no one's ever going to say no to a flamer.
The interesting thing about flamers is
they shouldn't work, but they do.
Yeah, they do, and they
'Cause
work
they're cool.
They work mechanically as both a single shot as well as what they call blast or area of effect.
The template.
Yeah, they do template where you can fight magnitude. So if you're fighting legions of guardsmen, they count as a horde in the same way that Tyranids count as a horde, which is an interesting analogy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can kill swaths of like 20, 30 guardsmen with a single shot from a flamer, whereas in melee, you would need to do that over the course of several rounds to get the same effect.
Yeah.
But
I mean, have it on a bandolier.
Yep.
Use it sometimes.
So random side topic. Got together with my group of guy friends last night. They're all the fathers.
Guys, friends.
The fathers.
See that? He has adult friends now, not us.
Sad.
But other than Jordan, the fathers. Because I see you every week.
Is that why I'm giving you all the stuff over there so you can whip Devin with it?
Yeah.
And
Dave.
And Dave.
And Dave. We played Betrayal at the House on the Hill.
Fuck?
We
I didn't want you
played.
to feel left out.
I was okay with being left out this time.
You're just doing. You're missing the red whippy sticks from GW's old days, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I still have one of those.
Yeah. There are some horrible stories associated with those.
Dad used to work for Games Workshop.
Yes, I used to work for Games Workshop.
That's where we met.
Yes.
Then you tried to become. You came to my club. And you're like, you're the guy who asked me a lot of annoying questions about.
Yes, Rob Hagen, Betrayal Legacy, which is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
We played Betrayal Legacy, and honestly, I won't spoil how, but the great part about the first mission, which is why it's not too much of a spoiler if it's anything, is there is no traitor if you're used to betrayal. The traitor is the house, and the house, through the mechanics of the game, make you kill each other. And only at the end of that scenario do you realize, oh, there was never a traitor, and we just murdered ourselves and created a bunch of ghosts, and those ghosts are going to power horrible events and haunts down the road.
Nice.
Because it's a legacy game. So by the end of that first scenario, we were like, wait, you're a human. You're all five of us were normal humans, and then the person who died first and actually got the whole plot then read us the rest of the plot where it said the house is the one that was the traitor.
That's awesome.
I was like, the fucking game fooled us. The game fooled us into murdering ourselves.
You see, I have a bit of a problem with legacy games, and I've had more than a few arguments about this.
Yeah.
I don't mind the idea of a legacy game. I hate the fact that you can't reset it after you're done.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because to me, like I keep hearing loads about Pandemic. Legacy and how
Okay.
that is the pinnacle of Legacy games.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
I like regular Pandemic a lot.
Yeah,
I own
love
regular Pandemic. We
I
should all
have
play.
I have
We should
that
play.
and the Cthulhu version.
I do too.
That's awesome.
Shut
I
up!
love
This
that
isn't
one.
about you.
But like,
I love that version.
I like the idea
that.
of a board game
yeah.
that moves forward in campaigns, right?
Yeah.
Jumping
I
into
think that's
our
a great
friendship.
thing.
What an
But
asshole.
the second you told me risk legacy, you have to take a knife and slash out continents. I looked at you and you saw my inner collector whinge noticeably.
Yeah.
No, it's cool though, man. You have to buy it knowing what you're going into.
Yes.
Like,
Like,
I,
you have
I
to-
never could. I'd be like, someone else buy it. I
Well,
can't.
no, obviously.
Well, yeah,
I couldn't.
and it definitely isn't for everybody. It's extremely popular, but I don't think it'll be popular in the long run just because the novelty of it will wear thin.
I don't know. I thought it was
but-
a great concept.
No, it's like I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, but just
It's similar
like, they're-
to these you ever see one of those escape room one time play games that you can get?
Yep.
Yeah.
I've played all of them, and you are usually required to destroy parts of it in order to finish the puzzle.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes.
And it's really quite cool. Some of them are insanely hard. Like, I would never have guessed this had I not looked at the hint cards.
The hint cards. Okay. Yep.
Because in a normal escape room, you have a way to contact someone who works there to give you a hint, right?
Yep.
Because if you're like, I don't get it, I'm stuck, and you have like a time limit of how long it takes you to finish it.
Yeah.
Because usually it's about 45 minutes, sometimes it's an hour, and if you don't finish the puzzle within then, you basically are done and then
You lose. Yeah.
You lose.
Yeah. Yep.
So there's hint cards you can look at that tell you how to solve certain puzzles,
Yep.
whatever you want,
Exactly.
and
It's- Go
and
ahead.
it's cool. But like at the end of the game, you basically throw it out.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
because
it is
you're done.
It's screwed with me for the longest time because I'm like, I have full decks of cards that come with this set that I didn't throw in the
Oh,
garbage.
the garbage. Yeah.
And it's like it goes against everything I've ever done
Yep.
in regards to decks of cards, games that I've bought.
Yep.
And I was like a hard Magic the Gatherer collector.
Oh yeah.
And I have
Yeah,
these
it'll work.
deck of cards and I throw it
Throw
in
it
the
out.
trash.
Yeah.
I
The
was like, this is hard.
I picked
Can't
up
deal with
I
this.
picked up Pandemic Legacy that I'm glad you like it, Rob. I'm really loving it too. Have it for Vanessa,
Sorry.
Tom, part of the crew, his wife, and Vanessa.
You can,
And we played we played that together, and we're on the 4th mission. What I like about it so far is I haven't had to destroy any components other than this is a sticker. Peel it off this sticker card and destroy the card the sticker came on. We've added a lot to the board, and it completely changes the game, but we haven't had to destroy much yet. And maybe
Risk or Pathfinder.
Pandemic Legacy. I haven't had to really
Oh.
destroy any components other than the pieces of card that the components came on. But we're only in the 4th game of what is supposed to be like 15, 16 games. But
'Cause I wanna
I've been
play-
told Pandemic is fantastic. I'm looking forward to finishing season 1. But yeah,
I've seen the thing for season 2,
yeah,
and I want to play season 2.
yeah. I've heard
Oh,
about
Dave's
season
been
2.
building. Yes, he has.
Constantly.
Oh, nice. How's it coming out?
Nice, nice.
It's not on camera.
Yeah. There, I will put it on camera. Hold on. Yeah. Did you?
Lean. Okay.
Plane, jets, models, engines.
Building. The next wing.
Yeah, the season 2 I will definitely pick up because once I heard the concept behind it, I'm like, okay, cool. But we'll see how everyone likes season 1 by the time we're done. So far, we haven't lost, though. That's good. Though the neat thing
That's
is
not good.
that's not good. It means that every future mission just gets harder and harder.
Yeah.
And it's interesting the idea of you almost kind of should lose now and then.
Just
and
to take the bar down a little.
yeah, to take the bar difficulty down a little, but yeah, it's neat so far.
So it's almost like you need to throw a game or two.
Well, you played Pandemic, so the event cards, the event cards. When you start your first game of Pandemic Legacy, you start with the 4 event cards that you started in the base game.
Sure.
These are I think you start with 6. Okay, it's 4 or 6.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but in a normal game of Pandemic, no, it's 4. But every time you win, these event cards are referred to as funding.
Okay.
Your funding goes down by 2 for every month that you win.
Because they don't clearly
Because
don't need to pay
You
that
clearly
much.
don't need to pay us that much to actually do it. And that's exactly it. I figure losing is inevitable because of shit that's happening in this game already. and we've won 2 games. Yeah, because there's 4 each month. You can play twice. If you lose, you play the second half of the month. So you can play a total of 4 games. We've won twice, so we beat the month of January and the month of February. So we've only played twice, but 4 slots. That's how I'm thinking about it. But that means we're starting March with no event cards at all.
Yeah.
And
Could be a hard March.
and a disease that cannot actually be cured.
Cool.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's that. All of Asia, unfortunately, is effed because that was the area where the red disease was most populous when the red disease turned into the uncurable red disease.
We can't talk about communists like that, Devin.
All right, time
Red
to start on the
disease.
second.
They're called a people.
They're called up people.
Anyone seen
The
Regenesis?
red
We have not,
menace.
Tarfan.
Yes, communism is a problem.
Asia for you too? Yeah. I don't know if that's just how it happens, but
Well, there
yeah.
is a lot of it there.
There's a lot of cities there. There's a lot of opportunities for the
I
disease
heard
to
most
break
of
out.
humanity lives there.
Yeah. So, not gonna lie, if I was a terrorist with a disease, I'd be like, I could put it in the Bahamas, or I mean, I'd get the Bahamas in like a day,
But the WHO would be there so fast.
So fast.
Because
or I could hit
vacation.
Asia, and there's a chance I'll get the Russias, and then maybe the Europes. And you know what? That's a solid afternoon for me.
That's a solid afternoon. Good stuff.
Yes, when I played Pandemic, the one time I played the the bioterrorist,
Oh.
and I may have been Dr. Apocalypse. But the point is, I won.
Yes.
Where in
No, but
the
it's a
world
but
is
pandemic.
this
The incurable
virus?
disease is uncurable. It basically says pick the most the disease that is the most widespread and the most blocks on the board right now, and take this little sticker and put it on that disease area. This disease is now uncurable.
Cool.
Period. You can't cure it, but you can contain it. And here's a new role in the game that is a quarantine specialist. And
Awesome.
and you have these little tokens that basically say you put them to the quarantine specialist for the main game where you don't place cubes.
Yeah.
They now have tokens where you can do that. So you can spend an action, put that token on the board, and say no more uncurable red cubes will go on this city. But when they would be added, this token goes away.
Oh no.
And then they can be added again. So you got to go back to that city and be
So
like,
it's like-
fuck, quit. It's just like constant trying to keep it under control
That's
while
funny.
you're also trying to cure the other 3 diseases. So, like Rob said, eventually we're going to lose. So far, we've been okay.
Night Face Plant Jan, you have a good one.
Night Faceplant.
I'm sure he has a real name.
And
don't wanna give
Possibly
it-
Jan.
Well, that's kind of why I wanted,
again.
like, based on the
Since he's in the
LARP
north.
discussion, I'm like, Rob, who are you actually? That's a wrong thing for me to ask in the
Same,
internet.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
hey, what's your real name?
what's your
Where do you
real
live?
name?
Social
Where do you
insurance
live?
number.
Exactly. So I'm like,
They're
because
allowed their anonymity.
yeah. So it's like, all
I
right,
have
cool.
mine.
And like, I just wonder if
You
we
do
have
not.
similar
I do
friends.
too.
What
Hey,
do you
Rob,
What do you
ASL?
supposedly have?
Anonymity.
this isn't an undersea creature that lives on the sea floor.
That's
I have
generally where undersea
anonymity.
creatures live. Yes.
I have
An
anonymity.
anemone?
I'm an enema. Wait.
Wait a
Good job,
second.
I'm so proud of you all.
For what?
I don't know yet, but we'll figure it
We'll
out.
figure it out.
Oh,
So,
an
Devin, how's the painting going?
anemone.
Painting is going very well. I'm starting on my second coat of the floor. It's actually starting to look like cobblestone now. And
Dirt.
Dirt. Yep. And if
Dirt,
you guys
McGirt.
remember that, and if you guys remember the last live stream, I used that foam imprint thing for Strahd's Castle. You can actually sort
How
of
does that
see the
castle come?
cobblestone. I finished the columns. I finished the main hallway, but you can see the cobblestone effect that is on this.
What's
here.
that crunchy bit in the center there?
You referring to I'm bad at this. That crunchy bit?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Here's a loaded one.
Okay, that is
Is that a burning bush?
Devin.
no, it's bricks that have started to crumble.
Nice.
Devin,
cool.
what do you think of the new edition for L5R?
Woo!
Facebook.
Now?
We don't have time for that TED Talk, sir.
God.
If he's gonna have the conversation, he's gonna have it
Throw some
now.
shade.
Yeah. Jesus. Okay. So
Go ahead, Devin. Weigh in and wait for me
No,
to
no,
weigh in
it's-
about
it's-
proprietary dice again.
proprietary dice is what I like about their proprietary dice this time is they
DRM.
actually give you but what they actually give you is if you want to use normal D6s and D12s, here is a chart that you can print off and turn your D6s and D12s into it. But it's still proprietary dice. It's still proprietary dice. The app this time, unlike Star Wars, you don't pay for it. It's free, so that's a good thing.
Crap.
This is why I can't play L5R. I don't know enough about Japan.
Everyone's convinced you're an anime fan. And you have to emphatically tell them no.
I don't. It's not because I don't want to. That's because I don't have the exposure.
Yep.
We'll watch a couple of Kurosawa films with you, and it'll be great.
I know nothing.
We'll make you
about
watch
Japan.
Redline.
Last time,
That is not samurai.
Yeah.
It's really good though.
So there's
I know,
it's,
but
every
that's
time we play
besides the point.
L5R, Devil's like, "You should bow to this guy," and I'm like, "Why?
why? It's like because it's part of the culture, and you really should bow because they will kill you.
Guy. I'm like, okay, so he's telling me to have Japanese manners because I have no idea. I go there and be like,
You
"Who is
barely
this
have
barbarian?
manners.
Where did he come from?"
Yeah, you do
Where
you
did
have
he go?
manners in general? No. So do you have Japanese manners?
That depends wildly on who I'm talking to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I know.
Rob Hagen is saying, "How do you screw up dueling?"
Yeah,
They
yeah,
screw
it's-
up- they screwed up dueling.
Well,
That's like half the
it's
game.
it's
Sorry,
the
1/5 of the game.
it's what it's
L5R.
for the game.
You-
Yeah.
I see what you did.
The things that I like about 5e, it's summed up in one thing, but they mechanically did it badly. I love the idea of duty versus emotion
said
and
duty.
feeling. Duty.
Taint.
Thanks, Dave.
At
Thanks,
least you
Dave.
didn't say the other thing we can never get past.
Taint.
Taint.
This is
We're
another
gonna
reason
call.
they
We are
want-
when D20 Live does L5R, we're calling it the Shadowlands corruption because
Yes.
we will laugh in the first episode from calling it Taint.
I won't, but
This is why you guys.
Because-
I will,
because
and I'm proud of that.
yeah, but I'm also going to be wearing an actual yukata
Oh, good
with
for
an
you.
actual samurai sword.
Okay, well, you know what?
Will
We
you?
played L5R one time,
I'll
and
be
I
bringing
did not
an S
giggle
word.
at the word "tame."
You didn't giggle. I
I
was
didn't.
very proud of you.
I did.
Because usually it's like, we can't play 5 L5R. Jordan won't stop laughing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I behaved myself.
No.
I was the one laughing behind you and blaming you for laughing.
I know.
Yeah, I know, right? It's so we did so we're so I love in in 5th edition that there is conceptually a mechanic for if you are forced to follow Bushido, but you have feelings and human emotion, and you get angry and you are lustful and love someone. And when those two things come into conflict, they actually try to create a mechanic where you can't do both. Bushido is such an ideal and such an impossible ideal that you can't have both. And they try to create a mechanic where eventually you just snap, where you just I can't take this anymore. I have my family on one side and I have my lord on the other side, and never shall they meet and never shall they work well together. So it just breaks you mentally. But they do it in a way where the GM gets control. Instead of it being a collaborative thing between the player and the GM has control over what happens.
Right.
And because they're trying to say you're acting so out of character that you no longer have control of your character. It's like the insanity mechanic from Call of Cthulhu, but at least there they give you examples of how.
You're an insanity.
Yeah, you're an insanity. So I like the concept that they tried with that, but there's so many problems where a vindictive GM or a GM that just doesn't like your character can gain control of your character and do your character harm. It's not fun. So I like the aspect of them trying to do these cool things and respecting the setting as a whole, but there's so many mechanical problems. There's the fact that you can.
Told you this was a TED Talk.
It is. It is.
Paperos is
Yeah.
asking, which L5R edition do you recommend?
Oh,
Please
fourth.
don't say
Fourth.
fourth.
Oh,
Are
for
you kidding us?
Because
Fourth.
the problem is because you can't find it now anymore.
Well, no, I have all the editions.
I know you
I
do,
have
yes.
everything I need,
And you have everything
Yeah.
I need. I have the PDFs I want. I got them when I had the chance.
and I have the second city.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like
There,
It's-
thank you, Rob. If you have to mechanize or mechanize
a roleplay
If you
a
have
opportunity.
to
roleplay
mechanize.
opportunity, you have failed exactly, and it's a
Unless,
forced roleplay.
unless you're doing it like the ST system where it was just a pass or fail.
Pass fail, yeah.
Or 7 samurai.
It's the fact that this character should have control over how they behave
Yeah.
in this scenario, and they don't. The other thing that I haven't actually looked at dueling, Rob, but I'm now gonna look at it when I go
Yeah.
on. But is the idea that they took the system from every other edition, where skills are based off of one of the 5 rings, and you do a combination like the ST system. Yep, you do a combination
so
of
much. And it was so solid.
your attribute and your skill, and you roll those dice. But in this game, again, cool concept where the 5 rings are an approach to life. Fire is an aggressive approach.
Yeah.
Earth is a very stubborn approach, and you basically they are approaches to a problem that you're running into in the game, but. And you basically say, here's my dice for my skill, and here's the dice for the approach that I'm going to take, and you add it together and roll those dice. But it becomes a problem where where a player would argue with the GM, like I am trying to overcome this argument, and the GM says that's an Earth roll because you're being stubborn in this courtly debate, and it's like no, I am going to be fiery and passionate about it, so I'm going to do fire because not because it's
I was going to say
realistically a role play.
The point I was going to make was. You say some player, it sounds like a real thing you've complained about with other people, like a real thing that's happened.
I see it as something that could happen.
Is there a story, Devin, where you're going to change people's names?
Nope.
K-Bros
Nope.
Tipsler has the drive-through RPG
Yeah,
link
you can still get the PDFs.
for the PDFs
Oh, yeah,
for 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it creates a situation where you're going to have players arguing for their best stat. Let's say someone has a really high fire ring,
Which is something that
but a
happened
really
with
low earth
Scion
ring.
a lot.
Yeah, exactly, and a really low earth ring. But so I'm trying to make a situation difficult for them by presenting them with a situation where they have to roll their low stat to make a challenge for them. But they would argue with me for the highest stat.
Yeah.
Everyone's going like, oh man, Sam's gonna wear a yukata during the L5R thing, and I'm like, oh man, now I actually have to do it.
Yeah, now I gotta do
You
it.
said it.
You bragged and volunteered.
I did.
That's how the rules work.
So why the counter question? Why do you dislike 4th, or is it that I think it was Tipsler, or is that
No,
that's
just because
everyone?
they were hard to find.
It's just hard to find.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
perfectly
Yeah.
good version of the system. I think my only complaint with 4th is it's trying to compile the previous 3 editions.
Yeah.
And you can see it in
It's
the
trying
design
to do a
and
best of.
Yeah, and it's in that respect, like there need to be a 5th edition just to be like, let's take a bunch of stuff down. It's going to go into splat books. The rest can just be here. We just have a strong core mechanic.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So when I do my L5R game, which I will be doing down the road at some,
I am not cosplaying. That is so bad.
We're filming it in January.
We're
It's
filming-
coming up in
And
February.
Ravenloft is taking up taking a hiatus for a time.
Yep. Ravenloft is taking a
We
hiatus.
left it on such a cliffhanger.
We did. It was a great cliffhanger.
Didn't we, Jordan?
Shut up, man.
Shut up, dude.
Yeah.
We did, none of us liked that. Well, actually, we did really like.
You like what
but-
happened. You don't
yeah.
like what happens in character.
In
You're
character,
like,
we don't
fuck,
like what
man.
We can't talk about it.
Yeah, we can't. But
Looking
it was a
at
good.
pointing at the back of Devin's head.
It was a good yet frustrating cliffhanger, and L5R will take over for 6 months.
And it's hard to not talk about, so we're gonna move away from it.
We're gonna move away
It
from it.
literally just happened.
Yeah,
2 nights
exactly.
ago.
Yeah.
Not last night, but the night before we filmed it. The last 2 episodes.
Such vampires. Much Strahd.
But Strahd.
I'm just glad you guys had a good time talking with Strahd.
Good.
Well,
I,
had
I
fun.
was in the room, but I wasn't there.
I
Yeah,
had fun.
It's okay. Dave was providing emotional support from behind
Okay,
the
bros.
curtain.
If
By
you would
being
like
sleepy
a
on the floor.
physical
It's fine.
copy, then
It's
I
like-
could
it's like a
try
dog.
and bind one
Or
for
an
you,
app.
but you'll have to pay for it.
Yeah, there you go.
And if you buy the actual PDF, then I will, you
Pretty
know,
sure most of you guys
it'll be a
forgot I
lot
was there.
easier.
Are you even allowed to do that?
Technically,
As long as you own it.
If you own and you have a watermark that you own a PDF copy, you're allowed to print and bind it.
Yes.
But
if you,
then are you able to then sell it to people? Or is that
No.
No, because then-
No,
But
Because-
no.
he would be contracting
Hard no.
her to do it for her.
it'd be a
As like-
contract of I am making one copy and only for him
Yes.
of binding that book.
He is not in turn
and you will
reselling
not
it.
pass that PDF out to anyone else.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have to supply her with the PDFs.
Yes.
And she has to leave the PDF after done.
Yeah.
Or something.
Or whatever happens.
That's
So, but yeah,
that's a slippery slope, my dude.
if if you would like, I can print it for you, but you have to own the PDF of it.
Yeah.
So that way, it is a legit copy, and I am only doing it for you.
In the same way that I got all 9 of my Pendragon books printed. Because I
Exactly.
bought all 9 of those Pendragon books in PDF. And it happened once. But yeah, I'm looking forward to running it. It's going to be run in 4th edition, and
You're using the newer canon, aren't you?
I don't know, Mike, am I? Have you been reading the newer canon like I told
No!
you not to? Good.
No, because the only
Stop asking
the
questions
only
you
thing
know
I read
the
about the new
answers
canon
to.
was the one thing I needed to know was that the Crane champion was a woman now.
Yes.
That was the only thing I had to know because I didn't want to go and say, "Where the hell's Doji?"
Well,
She's right there. And
Well,
like,
D20
that's
like-
Doji?
Doji, where did it go? But then how did you breed?
Oh.
Well, D20
Don't
like
tempt me.
7C.
Oh, God.
Don't tempt me.
Put in the friggin' votes, because I want to do 7C.
What is 7C?
Fantasy Pirates.
Fantasy Pirates.
Down!
Fantasy Pirates with like all sorts of Mediterranean influence. It's great.
Well, we have
Proper swashbuckling
we have a
mechanics.
Skulls and Shackles game on hiatus at the moment,
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and
a flash
I love
neck-
the shit out of that
Yep.
But yeah,
because I get to be
Keeper
the
Rose might actually
captain.
do it.
Yeah.
but
And
yeah,
I captain poorly.
to quote, to partially quote John Oliver, what is it? The new Crane champion was a woman.
Yes.
Hashtag
Feminism?
Not was, is.
Is.
hashtag feminism. Hashtag Bushido for her.
Bushido for her. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Bushido. Well, Mike be a ninja in the 7C just because.
Well, he's a ninja in Skulls and Shackles just because.
Because the ninja's gonna prove that he's better than the pirates.
Devin sounds so like, he's like, God damn it, Mike.
Pirate ninjas.
I am bitter, but not because Mike chose to play a ninja. He chose to play a Pathfinder ninja, which is just irritating as all hell.
But yeah, every time I my character sees him in his ninja garb, dressed up, it's just like looking into the eyes of Ninja Brian. It's just the seething
Yeah, that
hatred.
character's kind of fucked
Like-
up.
Yep.
He's pushing me overboard with his stare.
And actually, I love that. I have read a lot about the the 7th setting, Rob. I am not familiar with either set of mechanics. Which edition do you recommend?
Oh,
I
God,
take a
it's
look
really
at?
loaded because I've been reading the discussion on this.
Okay.
Because the new guy who did the 7C mechanic is the guy
But
who
is it
got-
an Italian ninja? No, it is not an Italian ninja.
They haven't turned up yet in our canon properly.
They exist though.
They
They're there.
exist.
Oh, they're there.
They'll be
Because,
back.
okay, so apparently 7C First Edition feels like a game of its time, and it has a much denser mechanic, cruncher mechanic.
Oh, okay.
Second E is a lot rules lighter,
Oh,
and there's been a lot of criticism about that because 7C, people who play 7C First Edition love it,
Right.
like categorically, and like there's people who are like, when I die, I'll be buried with my 7C books.
Okay.
It's like you will be with your Pendragon books.
Yes.
And like how Mike will be with his Exalted books.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
All of them.
I'll be going down with my Treadvang books and my
Zweinhinder.
What?
The Zweinhander,
Huh.
the German fantasy roleplay version.
Two-handed squiggle
nope.
sword.
okay.
It was
You're
Draco and
familiar with
Dromar.
it.
The
Yes.
Swedish version.
The Swedish version.
Oh, it's
yes.
Squall! Oh my
Oh,
god, I didn't even
cool.
notice it was
Check
Squall.
Hey, Squall!
Hey, Squall.
Check this shit out. It's got vertebrae.
Holy crapperoni!
How are
like,
you
rotates
feeling,
in
Squall?
360.
Because you
That's
also
awesome.
went to the
you
hospital
were- you did
recently.
okay?
Yeah, you
Because
can
it
feel
was-
it in the
Oh.
camera. That's rad.
Okay.
You didn't injure your way out of hospital? Are you away without checking out?
Because John just
Do
left
they
the
think you're
hospital
still
today.
there?
A lot of our community got into the hospital recently. I'm very concerned about all
I'm
of
sorry, I didn't notice it was you. I was kind of busy looking down.
them. Oh.
Are you technically still supposed to be in bed?
So, if you guys want to see it, I got this really... The head of the Titanus really moves.
Mike, stand up.
No.
Well, use
Fine,
the
give it
use
to
the
me.
other camera then.
Yeah, use the other
You have to
camera.
go closer to it.
I don't want to get up.
Oh, God.
Well,
Give me the-
that's
Yeah.
where you
See? If I don't do it well enough, someone else will
Someone
do it
else will
for us.
volunteer and do it.
Ah.
17 came out of CCG in 2001. Also, yet Katate.
Sometimes I
Has
wish
yet
we
to
could
come out for
fire
the
him
RPG.
from his own brand.
Ooh, it's like got movable joints.
Yeah, it's like vertebrae that actually
Yeah.
rotates 360. It's super
Jones
rad.
just got legal
Yeah.
here.
There you are.
Thank you.
No, nobody got that? Okay.
I didn't get that. But yeah, no. So
It's
it's
a fucking
like
pot
it's like
reference.
the Christ, how do I explain this? It's like the shift between, like, imagine going with something as crunchy and intricate as second to something as very streamlined as fifth.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like, that's how I've had it described to me. Forgive me if I've gotten it wrong.
For what? What?
7C.
Okay.
And much like L5R, it was a CCG.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Flew into my eye.
You okay?
There's a piece of paper that flew into my eye.
A piece of
You wanna
paper
go wash
flew into your
eyes?
eye.
You
Oh
wanna go
no.
wash your eyes?
I'll be okay.
Just keep blinking. You'll eventually turn into a tiny ball and it'll fall out.
Alright. Where am I next?
I didn't invent physics.
That's biology.
What?
Actually, no.
I gotta
I'll
take a
actually
look
go-
at that.
I'm gonna go.
Oh.
wash
Key
it out. I'll be back.
tie. Katai. Okay.
Let's see Pacific.
Called biology.
Use them as a stone.
Crap.
Sorry, baby.
It's alright.
Crunch crackle.
Sorry,
I'll
baby.
go this way. 'cause this way I don't have to mess up with
But yeah, no, I would love to see both rule sets. I have a funny feeling I'd like First Ed a little better because, you know, I don't like
All right, let you dry.
combat-heavy systems with simple rule sets. That's always been my against.
I should bring in the Burning Wheel.
You should. I'm still trying to understand it.
That's a solid book.
I don't know. I don't mind combat encounters. I enjoy the strategy involved.
Oh, okay.
This is why I like combat scenarios in Pathfinder and in Fifth and very.
Rob's one of the writers for 7th C, I think is what he's saying, for 7th C 2nd edition.
Oh.
What?
Rob Hagen is like.
Are you one of the writers?
I think that's what he's saying. Broken in places.
Because I know the head writer really got into a fluff about how because he was basically like, I hate how tabletop is heavy crunch, which, you know, to each your own. But it was like a very.
I don't think he's saying that.
No. Okay.
No.
Oh,
Okay.
You know which one I'm talking about?
No, I don't think he's saying that.
Oh, who, Rob Hagen or this guy or the guy I'm referring to?
I don't know who you're referring to. I listen to half of what you say ever.
Thanks.
I don't think Rob Hagen
puts
is
certain
saying
parts
that he's
of
a
D20
writer.
That he's a writer. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he's saying that he's quoting someone who was.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, he knows one of the main writers.
Okay.
Cool.
Even
All right,
better.
Cool. Yep.
That's firsthand.
But yeah, no, he wrote a really not tight, but tough blog post on it. On having heavy crunch systems and how it was it was just this huge condemnation.
Oh, okay.
And I was kind of disgusted about it.
Huh.
Because it wasn't it wasn't a let me play my own way post. It was a you're wrong for playing this way. At least that's how it came across. It's a weird mix. Kind of.
I'm seeing that a lot in the community as of late, especially with since 5th edition and the large glut of new players who have come in.
Glut. So
the idea that someone is wrong for how they play D&D. Like, no, there's so many videos that are well argued about that. I don't like Don Forgecast, but he did put out a good opinion video on that where he was like, this is why you're wrong for saying that someone else is wrong.
Yeah.
Like it's not
inclusive.
It's not inclusive. Yeah.
It's not inclusive. And it's not like, it's almost like saying, I hate to say it, but like saying when they play their way, it ruins my hobby is like saying,
then quit the fucking hobby.
It's almost like saying, and I don't want to, I almost want to, I hesitate to throw this out. It's almost like saying gay people ruin marriage.
What?
I said it's like that. I didn't say I
You
believe
could've-
that, Sam.
Wow, you walked in at the perfect point for that to be
so
awkward.
confused. I was getting
But
ready for
it's
your
almost
mom.
the same kind of argument to a point.
Where it ruins something that has nothing to do with
Nothing
it.
to do with
It's
it.
it's just something else someone else is enjoying in their own way. And the thing is, I completely understand wanting a role play heavy game. I run those.
Some people love that shit.
I run those extensively. My combat is some of the worst. Is slow as balls because of it. I can admit it.
Your combat goes through phases where sometimes it is very
Punchy. Yeah.
Yeah.
like sometimes it's
If
super
my
fast.
combat isn't, sorry, that was really loud. I probably zoomed out the mics. But
didn't.
if my combat isn't just hard and fast,
Yeah.
it goes too slow.
Yeah,
Like it's dramatic, it's fast. It's like maybe
you
two
like
rounds.
cinematic combat.
Yeah, I do. But that's me,
You
right?
like combat where the rules influence but don't dictate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If a player says to me, Mike, I'm going to scoop up some sand and throw it in his eyes, I'm like, there's
Sure.
no rule for this. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, why not, right?
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like
Okay, you can't
I
get the
don't
first
know.
edition 17 books on drive-thru. Thank you, Rob Hagen. I'm going to go check that out.
I think both of you kind of have that in common though, because neither of you are very rules heavy in regards to if it's cool, it works.
Yeah. And that's just it.
Tom's
Yeah.
more rules heavy as a game master, I find.
Yep.
Let him
Tom,
know.
yeah.
like Tom.
Our Tom, yeah.
Yeah, Tom digs
Tom,
rules,
Teflon
but that's
Tom.
because Tom's a rulesy guy.
Yeah,
That's
he
just
is.
what it
And
is.
there's nothing against that because he had a
No.
stroke the time we beat a whole bunch of zombie by
We
making
just-
forts.
Okay, so
Da, da, da.
context-wise, so one time Tom ran a homebrew setting
The
for
first
us.
time I played a ninja, by the way.
Yes, and so we were
Wow,
in
don't worry,
a, like a legit, like 1980s, like style Dungeons and Dragons just came out dungeon.
Yeah.
You have your hallways full of traps. The
And
whole thing
monsters.
was chock-a-block crammed with zombies. Everything we fought in there was a fucking zombie. And so we eventually started developing like World War Z zombie fighting tactics.
Right.
Which
Where
worked.
we'd smash on a door and then bring them into a funneled down hallway where we'd actually set up tables and barricades to force all of the zombies to come through a 1 5-foot hex. And we would just mutilate them one at a time. All of us
Because they couldn't move past us.
No, so we'd have two
And,
guys meleeing them same time because we played on a grid basically, and then it was so we just chew through these zombies. It took forever.
Love
And
it.
Tom was super pissed because he wanted us to have
to
this
do it properly.
like this throwdown zombie horde fight,
None of us
and we
wanted
were
it.
not doing that at all.
No.
The thing
Because
is,
why the fuck
we
would
did
we?
it properly.
Yes.
And then we started having to figure out his traps, and then we
Which
discovered
were all poison arrow.
all of them were poison
Oh my
arrows.
god.
Mike took
I
more
took
than his fair
so
share.
many.
of
Because I was the only
poison
one who could take them apart.
And then we just stopped
Because you
trying
were the
to.
impromptu rogue.
And then we just threw parts in it.
We
parted
just
it.
we
You
just
had
started
enough body parts.
We found a room full of like furniture, just leftover furniture or some shit. Basically, we took heavy like chair legs and started flinging them into traps and setting them off while we were down the hallway.
Better than a 10-foot
Yep.
pole.
And it wasn't worth it.
So kind of
I think
like
eventually-
like the horse from the 2014 game.
Oh god, yeah. I cast fucking Bridge of
I
Horses.
cast trap springing horse. But,
Yep.
Yeah, no, and then we finally went through it, but we ended up just cheeseballing all of Tom's preparation. And he was so salty.
So salty.
But there's nothing he could do because he's the one who set it up and we're the ones who solved it, so it is
Yep.
what it is.
You sometimes
shit.
you sometimes like
adaptability.
it's very important to develop those improvisational skills because I mean our Pathfinder game, you guys weren't supposed to negotiate with the goblins, but then in our home game, but then JM said, "Well, I can speak Goblin," and I chose to my character to have a high diplomacy, so I walk up to the goblins, and like, oh well, okay, and I just had them all roll diplomacy and said, okay, some of them follow and leave, so that fight goes nowhere, but one of them stays. And he's gonna backstab you later. But
Did you
Because
tell
that's
them
what
that before?
goblins do.
yep. Did I tell them that before I did it? No.
Okay.
And then I said I said these goblins leave, and then I made them, and then I looked at their passive perception. They didn't see the one
Okay.
goblin that stayed behind. What was I,
I
gonna say?
like
And
second mechanics over firsty most because firsty can easily just make broken characters, but that's half the fun. I don't know. I like making broken characters, not because I like giving the GM.
No, because you are the type of player who feels that you can make a broken character while still making them an interesting character.
That is true.
Yeah,
That is,
so
that is my
it's-
pride.
Yeah, it's so broken characters for you are not a problem in terms of mechanics, because you're not the type of player who will cause problems at a table by using a broken character.
Well, if anything, you'll like sparingly use that brokenness.
I use it so I can get through the parts I'm supposed to get through,
Yeah.
Yes.
and I'm just too busy having fun with the
But
rest
you
of it.
don't like
Yeah.
swing it around and beat people over the head.
No,
with
because
it.
then it wouldn't be fun.
Exactly.
I agree with you, Tipsler. You do need to know when to just not use the rule book.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
I find it's best as what rule like RPG books are best described as suggestions.
Yep.
So these like rules, you start with them and that's fine and great, and it kind of gives borders to what is expected. But then,
Yep.
you know, if the story is getting to a point where the rules aren't involved anymore, then it's okay to break away from that and not have like a nervous meltdown.
Yeah, you can
Because you're
absolutely go off book.
Yeah.
Direwolf's still dead.
Direwolf's still dead.
Direwolf's still dead.
If they go into the forest, Direwolf's still dead. Party wipes start again.
here's the thing I see happening with the current.
We'll wake up from a
controversy.
dream. It was all a dream.
With the current battle
Don't
with
be
the
pieces of
crunchy
shit.
with the crunchy fans versus like
You'll
the
have
really
a
roleplay heavy
premonition.
fans.
Yeah.
Is there are fans out there? Unfun brokenness no matter your intent. Oh, fair enough, Rob Hagen.
Fuck, I've
There,
used
there
Direwolf.
is that cabal of old players who are convinced the worst thing to happen to D&D is Ravenloft.
Yeah.
Really?
There are.
Oh yeah, they're freaking convinced because they're
Why?
saying because to them it's when story mattered over gameplay
The first time, yeah.
the first
Story
time
mattered over gameplay. Like,
to
what
them
do you mean?
because okay the only good argument I've heard about it is the fact there's no really good evil option in Ravenloft out of the box. You got to put it in, which I did for you. Shut up, Mike.
Please
oh my
continue.
God.
I caught myself. But
Which
there's
I did with the addition of this particular ultimate pack. Never mind.
caught myself. But there's a certain
Time to
their
use the
argument
band of
is, if I'm
obfuscation.
quoting it correctly, is that with roleplay heavy modules, there's a certain assumption as to how your characters are going to respond to certain situations.
Sure.
In Ravenloft, in theory, you're on Irena and Ismark's side.
Well, that's generally.
Yeah. Now, if you have an incompetent DM with a bunch of Rob Hagen, I love Ravenloft to bits. please do not think I don't love Ravenloft. But there are people. There
He
is
loves
that
it competent GM.
Too much.
Yeah, if you're an incompetent GM who does not know strong narrative and how to make that work within the
more
frame
than
of your
best
story,
friends.
let's say you have 5 evil players, 5 evil line players, which is a perfectly viable build.
Yeah.
You can do it. You can play a good campaign with evil characters.
Yeah,
You just have to have the right incentives for being evil.
yeah, and
You can't play chaotic evil and just literally murder hobo your way through the campaign because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
you can, but
There-
you're playing a very different game.
No, that's the thing, and people would not have a reason to hire you. You would have to go find your own fun. Like the story gets thrown right out. There's
Yeah.
no point to it. You can have the same campaign in the same setting, but the characters wouldn't interact with you. There's no reason for it.
What is the worst rule
Yeah,
you've
exactly.
ever seen?
I know. I'm trying to. I saw that, and I'm trying to think.
Sorry?
Like, oh,
What is the worst
worst
rule
rule?
you've ever seen?
Fuck.
My main gripes with any system has been with first edition Pathfinder. Now that there was second edition coming out, and I can say first edition now.
Yeah.
I hate how ineffective the cantrips are
Okay.
as a spell.
Oh, yeah, they are...
It's like, here's 1d4, you can participate.
They're on the underpowered side, yeah.
Yeah.
And they fixed that in 5th ed
Fifth
D&D.
end. Yeah.
And
And
then,
second edition now.
and
Pathfinder,
second
yeah.
edition Pathfinder now.
What's this?
And
It's my palette.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I don't...
I thought you were doing something with
I
it
think
'cause it was
combat
like two
maneuvers are
different colors
clunky as
and-
fuck in
Nice.
first edition Pathfinder.
Mm.
And
Oh, these
alternatively,
little stands,
probably
these are nice.
3.5 done D&D.
Oh, they're not
They
even there.
work with the
that was their
WizKids,
solution to
thin ones?
nothing.
The thin bases?
Yeah, combat maneuvers are super
they are the
clunky.
thin
It doesn't
bases.
make sense
These are WizKid
that I would
models.
shoulder
Oh,
check
that's
a
awesome.
guy
Yeah.
and then take attacks of opportunity from
They also
literally
work with,
everyone
like, the
around him
infinity ones,
Yeah.
or-
in the
I
middle
have
of a
an
melee
XL
combat. That doesn't
can
make sense.
fit This thing. That's cool. And yes.
I don't know, I still have issues with second ed, but I'm gonna wait till the final rules.
I'm trying to think,
before
it's like-
really
I feel like attacks of
That's a
opportunity
great
don't really
idea
make
for-
sense.
Well,
It doesn't make sense
I
that
use it for
I as
airbrushing.
my character, would be fighting somebody, let's say Devin, character, or an NPC or whatever, and then I decide to make a movement of some sort, and then all 3 bad guys in the scrum decide to then punch me at the same time.
Yeah.
That doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
well, the idea is basically that if you're casting a complex spell, this is where it came from. The idea was, you're in front of me with a mace, and I'm
Sure.
going, I summon from the depths of, and you go, that's a spell. Mace to the face. That spell's not going to happen. That's where the core of it came from.
No, that makes sense. Fine.
Yeah.
The guy you're fighting makes sense. Like, oh shit, he's casting a spell. I'm gonna punch him in his teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, it doesn't make sense that
Just
then
like
4
a
other
spellcaster.
people around you would flip out
And that's yes.
abandon their combat
Yep.
to all of a sudden punch the wizard.
That's one of the why I like Pathfinder Second Edition. The fact that only fighters have attacks of opportunity.
Which makes sense
at
because they'd
start,
be more
'cause-
combat aware of the situation.
Exactly. They're more aware of combat. They're more aware of where they can take risks. And even though they're fighting this person here, they can go to the person over here, and it's going to be okay. It works a lot better that the fighters are the ones to make that sort of decision and are capable of doing it.
Yeah, and attacks of
Yeah.
opportunity are ultra horseshit. Even if you're a player and you're doing it to an NPC or a monster or whatever, attacks of opportunity are bullshit.
What were you saying about like what could these be used for, Dave?
Oh no! What I use at home, I have a circuit board soldering thing that has a little magnifying glass on it and 2 alligator clips.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I grab onto a base. I find
Nice.
the teeth are a little bit on the sharp side.
Oh yeah.
I think
So
my
I'm
problem
trying
with
to
second right
figure a
now
way to
is
glove
really the
them.
character
Right.
options.
Like the way they're built.
Yeah.
This
Like, no one
actually
feels
has alligator
powerful.
clips, or a version of
I
this
think it's
has
good.
alligator clips on it.
I
think
like
it's
cool.
I like feeling powerful though when I make a character.
No, that's fair, and I get that, but it also takes a lot any sort of
Yes.
commitment to safety out of the question. Like once you make, let's say you make a level 1 paladin or some shit, right?
Yeah.
You walk out of the level 1 character stable, big dick swinging, fucking gonna brutalize anything that comes up against you. You hit level 2, it's more of a cool, I've got additional hit points than, oh thank God I was falling behind. Like there's no, you can do so much as a level 1 character. It's unreal. And
Grapple
so,
in Scion, apparently, says Mythic.
Oh god,
And,
yeah. That was
Rob's
shit.
worst rule: trip rules in 3 ED&D.
Oh
Oh yeah.
yeah, okay.
I'm trying to think.
like
No,
tripping should be
The Doom Pool.
Which one?
The Doom Pool and Marvel Heroic Age.
oh.
Sorry, Marvel Heroic RPG. The Doom Pool. Pile of shit.
Boosting in Mutants and Masterminds.
What else?
The boosting superpower in Mutants and Masterminds, which none of you are ever gonna freaking get, by the way.
I don't
Yes.
think
Ever.
did we look at that and we're like, I think Mike and I looked
we
at
read
it.
it. We're like,
like,
that's too much bullshit.
yeah, we were like,
Is it
no.
OP or is it
The boosting
under?
superpower basically says the only reason, the only thing that I can do is I can touch this person who has other superpowers and increase their power level beyond the base level maximum.
So we're not
So,
saying that.
well,
Let's just say that like at first level they get a +10 to something because they're superheroes, and you get plus lots.
Yeah.
Boosting takes that maximum +10 that anyone can get and say, well, I have boost level 5, so you're now a +15.
Oh Jesus.
And I'm like, oh, so it becomes an issue. It became an issue for me where I was balancing combats in that game for power level 10, and then one of our players would boost Mike, who had a very combat heavy mech guy. And
Oh yeah, that was Rishi's.
that was Rishi's booster.
I shouldn't say his name. Sorry.
Well, yeah, so that was
that was our one friend's ability.
yeah, our one friend's ability was to boost other people, and he boosted your character's combat capabilities, which brought you well above what I was balancing for every single fight. So no one ever really
We
got...
accidentally found my hyper mode that way.
Yes. No one else outside of you ever really got to fight in those
Yeah, 'cause
combats.
it was just, what was the point of
because-
them going?
Yeah, and
'Cause I was there.
you had first initiative, and
Because I was boosted to shit.
yeah, so and you ended up killing most of the things that we were fighting. So the boost superpower in Mutants and Masterminds is my least favorite rule.
Oh, I'm trying to think what else I've got. What I've seen that's really bad. There's a couple things in Cyberpunk on the back end that I don't like. The absence of a currency economy in Firefly still pisses me off.
Oh yeah, I remember you complaining about that.
Yeah, it's a RPG based on the concept of you're trying to make money in space and survive, and they don't have money
Yes.
in the book, or any of the supplementary on books. I'm like, why did you want this to fail?
Wait, is that Starfinder?
Firefly.
Oh,
Firefly, not
it
Serenity.
has no economy.
Serenity does the original book they made with the original IP.
Did you steal it from that and just pop it in?
I did. I had to because I needed to. Because the first thing was, okay, you have a job. Cool. How much does it pay? Is money a thing? What? This is Firefly, Michael. But it's not in the book. There's no economy in it.
And
Or at least if there is, I couldn't find it.
And that's
yeah, Fatal. Just Fatal.
I think that meta magic feats could work better.
Oh,
think
yeah.
that
Meta magic was
I
horribly
think-
complicated.
I think that was a mess.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
you
think
needed calculators
juggling
to help you do that.
animal companion is a fucking nightmare
Yep.
for any sort of fucking streamlined combat. It's like playing multiple characters at once. I just do.
You're
not
better
have
off
the
just
ability.
summoning.
Even then,
Yeah.
because I gotta know what its stats are, what its abilities are, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. I'm like, I don't feel like playing spreadsheet the game. Well, everyone else.
Except
is
you
rolling
enjoy
dice.
playing Kingmaker.
Go shove it. I like the SimCity aspect.
You
of
do
it.
love the SimCity, and I do too. I love the
Feel
fact that I
vitriol.
can create an entire civilization.
I'm trying to think what else.
There's something in Shadowrun that really bugs me. And I can't-
There's a lot in the latest edition of Shadowrun. That
I know what it is. It's
everybody.
dragons.
yeah, it's the Durgans. The Durgans are the
and
problem.
Shadowrun. That's the whole fucking
Mustache
problem.
rules? What?
Pardon me?
Is that a fatal thing?
I think he's making a.
Those
Or
horse
is that a
mustache
thing-
rules.
Oh, those horse mustache.
oh,
The
those.
fucking thing from.
That was the one message I got.
Yeah.
Someone smashed the anarchy too fast, Rob. Get it together, Rob.
Mustache. I think it's not so much. Matrix is what really bothers me in Shadowrun because it's very unclear how it fits in with everything else. Magic
it's a little
is
better in Cyberpunk.
I've been told
A little
that.
better. The fucking barometer's not high.
Yeah.
Well, because in
I love
Cyberpunk,
the-
it's you could do this. Here's a more intense thing, or you could just make the rule and call it a day.
What I do like in Shadowrun, it also has one of my favorite rules, and that's how you do initiative. Like the fact that they've done a very elegant way, which something I might adopt for a martial arts game, homebrew game down the road, where right in the base initiative rules, if you are a hacker or if you're using magic or have enhancements, you can go multiple times in a single round when someone else only has a single action if you have a high enough initiative. So that's one of my favorite in Shadowrun, which is one of those complicated, unnecessarily systems that I've ever run. Has one of my favorite rules in it.
I'm currently building If we ever touch Shadowrun again,
Oh, we are. We're
the
going to.
soundtrack I'm gonna demand that we use.
Uh-oh.
Which is
What is it?
It's got
It's-
some abyss in there, eh?
Almost all of it.
Nice.
So basically, I found this I don't know if it's do you call them bands these days? It's a guy.
if it's one guy, it's
it's
an
called a
artist.
musician, you dongle.
If it's one
I don't
guy,
know if
it's
it's
a
more than
DJ.
one. Point is,
DJ, yeah.
If it's one guy, he's an
point
artist.
is, he makes synthwave music, which is very 80s
Ah,
themed.
cool. Yeah, yeah,
I love
yeah.
If we don't get DMCA'd for it, sure.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be on the stream. If we ever do it, just kind of outside of like this. But I mean, I could email him and ask. Fuck.
Yeah, you could.
And actually, isn't it a rule where you can use any snippet of music as long as it is not longer than 10 seconds?
Oh,
or
that's
something?
gone.
Oh, that's
That's
gone.
gone
Okay.
now.
That's
Yeah.
gone.
Okay.
Because YouTube was like, nope.
No.
Okay.
I
A
mean,
lot
I
of
could
people
call
just
and
got
ask.
YouTube
hit.
has a lot of nope.
I
A lot
found
of
his
people just got
SoundCloud. I could just contact him and
It
ask.
literally
him.
got
Yeah.
it literally got so bad to the point where Ninja Sex Party said, "No DMCA's, go,
Huh.
just go. We don't care, go."
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
We're all generally
any
fans of Ninja
any
Sex
Sex
Party
Party,
here.
yeah.
any
Would you,
artist you
uh,
could
Hey,
could
Danny,
just
you want to be on
include in the
D20
show?
Live? You'll never see this.
Brian,
big
do you want to
into
be on
D&D in
D20
high
Live?
He was big into D&D in high school.
I'm not surprised.
Also,
Danny, Brian, we would totally
Danny,
like
don't you
it.
know?
Oh,
Danny, don't you know there's a place for you? I'm not singing the song right.
No, you're really not.
ah,
Thanks, Dave.
zombies done.
bam.
Bam. Zombies
Don't you know?
done. EU Article 16. Yeah,
It was
I've heard
cool
about
as
that.
fuck on
That's
the
rough.
What,
inside.
ULA?
No,
Danny, don't you
the
know?
EU article,
Danny, don't you
the new law. Well, it's not law yet. It hasn't been ratified. But oh god, what was that? What was the whole thing about it? It's
You
any.
can't copy stuff.
It's
anymore.
it's the idea that they're expanding what companies can claim as copyright
Oh boy.
on YouTube specifically, if I recall correctly. And it's only within the EU if you're no. It's any incoming content or outgoing content. So it doesn't matter whether you're an American YouTuber that's being streamed on an EU device. Any content has been drastically increased in terms of what is copyrightable. So to the point where a lot of streamers are just saying, "Well, F it. I'm not going to talk about anything related to XYZ EU related matters."
Yeah, I guarantee it's not going to stick around.
Oh, it's coming. Okay.
It won't stick
Thank you,
around.
Rob.
There's no
Great. Wow. I don't know a lot about it. I just one of my favorite Destiny YouTubers where I was complaining a lot about it.
There's no way it'll stick around. It's
Yeah, you
there's,
say that. Have you seen the shit that's getting ratified these days?
there's going to be so much public outcry
Any
about it.
service. Wow. Okay. I thought it was just YouTube.
Nope, any
Nice.
service.
Well, no, it would
Wow.
apply to any service. It was
Yeah.
designed mostly for YouTube.
Huh.
But basically, there's no way that'll stick around, man. Laws like this, like draconian shit like this, it gets passed and ratified, but they will, like shoot it down once it actually hits open fucking forum.
Once
There's no
people
way.
realize what the hell it's all about.
Oh yeah, once anybody looks at it for any more than 30 seconds.
I don't know, because, the state's friggin' repealed against the free internet thing.
Yeah, I know, but once that actually goes through,
It did go through.
no, I mean once it goes through and actually starts affecting things and people start getting pissed off, it'll people don't know what it means.
The internet warriors will rise, and
No, they won't.
No, because
Yeah, they're kinda
the
lazy.
people on the internet were like, "Hey, no," and then the people who were fighting against it knew what was going on, and then it was the only people.
You
who,
wait till the
It's the only people. It's the only people that it hasn't affected yet has been the guy who made it pass.
you wait till it starts
So
affecting the baby
And
boomers
Trump.
and watch that shit flip around real fast.
Right, but like
Oh, Ajit Pai.
that one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awful.
the guy's like the new Dark Lord of the Sith right now. So not really. He's not even cool.
Is the YouTube chat just really quiet?
I don't know, guys. YouTube chat. You guys want to say anything? I'm not seeing you talk.
Either that or Mike's tablet froze.
Yeah.
My tablet doesn't freeze.
Oh no, they're talking.
good.
They're talking.
They're talking.
On
Oh
YouTube?
no, they're talking.
They are us chatting.
Are they mad
Oh,
at
maybe
me?
it might have. It might
Mad
have.
at you?
Oh yeah, no, they're
Why?
really mad at you.
Me? Okay. All right.
Why?
Like
What?
super pissed.
Okay.
Are you
all right.
making
That's
this up
not
now?
true at all.
Are they mad at me?
Yes, actually.
Why?
No, well, not true at all.
I don't know. I worry about what people think of me.
Well, you're
You're a content creator. Why are you
you're in
worried
the
about
wrong
that?
fucking
I was gonna
business.
say, like, if you were really that worried about what people think of you, like genuinely worried, then
Except G-Money.
Okay.
that,
Oh yeah, no, it was just it
Oh
just-
shit.
it booped
It
out.
doesn't have the restrictors on it, so X-Wing goes full X.
What do you guys think of the in-canon changes for the
Crushing
Shadowrun?
the cockpit.
about the what?
What do you guys think of the in-canon universe Shadowrun changes? Hi, D-Croc.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
It
sorry.
was-
We
it lost internet for a second.
yeah, my
so.
tablet didn't sync up with the new chat. Research engineers, how's it going? Talking about crafting.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
BB unit goes fucking flat.
Mike, you are awesome. Yeah, well, you know. Yes, I'm aware I'm in the wrong business, but I like performing. I can't help that. I have an
Yes, but
outgoing
you will
soul.
not. You will not have everyone like everything that you do. It is
I'm okay with
impossible.
that. I don't want people hating me for what I am.
That's more
I
reasonable
was
and fair.
born this way.
'Cause I am, like, guys, you know me. Sometimes I am a colossal shit, right?
Your words.
I'm a colossal shit, but I have. I
Sometimes
don't
you
wanna
deserve
hurt our-
having water balloons thrown at you.
Yeah, I do. But I don't want to hurt any of our fans. I never want to do that. Like, I don't want anyone to ever think that my opinion marks ill of them. That's my.
No, your opinion is your opinion, and
Yeah.
it stays that way.
Can
Yep.
someone show the camera this?
Your opinion does not.
Show the camera.
Here, I'll pass it to Sam.
Pass it to
Okay.
Sam. Yeah. I'm in the middle of doing shading for this. I can't
It's the
stop.
X part of the X-Wing.
Woo.
I haven't.
I
picked up
like
the
what Mike
blasters
does,
yet.
except for killing Urgos and possibly bringing him back.
Oh.
I'm okay with that.
Grumpy face.
Grumpy face.
Jordan's so upset.
So much.
Still
grumpy
mad
face.
about that, huh?
Still mad.
Well, that's the thing, and this.
I gotta
The
take
reason
cyber.
why I did that is
Yeah.
because I have eternally,
Bending
not
over
eternally
like that.
hated the narrative in tabletop where it's, the only way to make the players afraid is to make them fear death. One, culturally, that doesn't work anymore to me because suicide jokes are such a common thing, right?
Well, funny, but
They're not. It's horrible, but we have this cultural lack of fear of death, kind of,
Yeah.
because of our society. This is my belief. If you're have a
No,
different
I can see that. Okay.
right? To us, and there's this kind of a cultural predisposition that death is kind of the end of dealing with the bullshit you're dealing with now.
Yeah. Okay.
There is some idea with that. To me, if you make living suck for the characters,
Yeah.
that's a lot more horrifying. It's like, no, you're going to make it through it to the next shitty thing I'm going
like-
to do to you.
Yeah.
Like dying is the easy way.
Dying's the easy way.
Dying's the easy way. I could kill you, or when the end is done, you could look at me and go, "You're a monster." Ah, but you lived.
Like, how joyous.
How joyous. Now you get to deal with it.
Yeah.
I told the story I
And that's-
wanted to tell. Suckers.
Flame has begun.
yay!
Woo!
Didn't have that.
Everything's on
fucking
fire.
All right.
This chat
I love how-
is on fire.
I love how every so often someone comes in and asks, "Why does that happen?" And then I have to get to roll my eyes again as Sam explains it with this huge shit-eating grin on her face. He's like, "I made a thing."
I did.
What?
This
Every once
chat
in a while,
is on
someone sets the
fire.
chat on fire.
Oh no, that's required.
There you go.
It burns away the weeds.
Done. All right.
Okay.
Sam is the pyro queen of the
Yeah.
Discord.
I am.
Yeah, okay, well, fair enough. And Russ made a point. I might fear death for myself, but I fear death for the people I care about more. Yeah, that's a really common thing because you have to watch that suffering. Agipai used to work for Verizon. They are, Agipai. We're going to explain that one now. We wanted to okay, well, reduce the download speeds for certain websites. Unless you pay for it. Why use Netflix, Amazon, load so slow unless you pay the thing for the month extra? Yeah.
Okay.
I asked how long you guys going because I'm tired and sore here. John, you can back out any time, man. You
Yeah, John,
got
you
out
can-
of surgery.
John, go to
Go
bed.
relax. We got another 45 at least.
All right.
So
Have a sugar cookie.
Zombie.
Grow back that blood.
go.
Zombie
go
base
go,
from
dude.
you.
You've done a good job. Jordan,
Zombie base
you're
killer
chiming in on the
machine.
Discord.
I have the chat going right now. I'm good.
Yeah, you're fine. So we're okay. We got a mod.
Yep.
You can go and relax, dude. All right.
And the ruins now have been shaded with the proper cobblestone.
John, go have a sugar cookie. Regrow that blood.
There.
That's
been
not even close
taking
to how that
so
works,
many
but it's so cute
samples.
that you think.
No, they've been taking so many goddamn samples out of that boy.
I love how Rusty told John to go to bed.
It's like the Lord of Insomnia. Like, go to
Exactly.
bed, John.
Go to bed, John.
It's like getting
We love you,
it's like getting
Rusty.
health. We love you too,
You're the
man.
best.
You're You are great.
Thank
You're
you,
one of our
Rusty.
great fans.
Yeah.
But oh man, you should really go to bed sometime.
Yeah, exactly.
I know you
I'm
stay up
pretty
for
sure
us.
he's been up since he's been a fan.
He has not fallen asleep.
Ah, he's a good one.
Last he slept was in the days of
I can hear
yore.
my hair grow.
Last he slept was in the days of yore, before D20 Live
Well, before we
verily
started
came
streaming.
into being.
Verily.
Even John said, "You telling me that, Rusty? I clean up my shit." Yeah,
Everyone's telling him to
John
go to bed.
'cause-
John, go to bed.
Yeah.
Go to bed, John. There's a group of people shouting at you right now.
It was like the time we all yelled at Devin about his calendar.
Yep.
And then
I say that when he's out of the room.
You just didn't
all
want
14 of them.
What was that?
All of
Nothing!
you're kidding.
We're an unusual family.
I feel like without his calendar, Kevin would just come and go like an outdoor cat. Like he would just show up sometimes.
Hey, Devin. Hey, Mike, what's
accurate
going
is that?
on? It's my third date. Well,
Devin?
no, what is it? Like
How
20th?
accurate is that?
I didn't hear what you said.
Exactly.
Without your 14 calendars on Google, you would just come and go like a house cat. Like
Or an
like,
outdoor cat.
Like an outdoor cat. You just show up sometimes.
Oh, Jesus. Tips alert. I once did it 4 days straight due to running a con. That is running a con, but I still... I'm
Please
glad I've
sleep
never went.
properly. We want
Oh,
you guys all to
you want some?
survive.
Yeah.
You want some staying up late due to con stories? That's Dave here.
Oh,
Woo!
I would show up randomly like a house cat. I'd also show up 24 hours late to my own birthday party.
Yeah.
Because that has happened before.
Yes. So Dave is the. What is your role with Con Bravo now?
Now I am department head of events tech, so I run the 2 stages.
You've genuinely been promoted. Yeah.
That was last year.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
No, Dave's
The year
hot.
before
Dave's
last.
hot
He's
shit
been
at
actually for
Con
a while.
Bravo now.
Am
I literally go over and was like, "Hey, Dave,
Your department
I'm
head
set
is
up for
hot
AD,
shit.
right?" "Yeah, Mike. Okay." And I walk away.
What was that question?
Like I come up to you whenever it's D20 Live prep time. It's like, "Dave, I'm fine, right?" "Yeah, cool."
Yeah, you're good. Just not worried at all.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
because I run a tight ship
He does.
by
I've
hiring
fucking
good
does.
rental guys.
I've taken orders from Dave. He knows exactly what's up at all times.
At all times.
Like to the point where I'm drooling and there's blood going out of my nose.
Okay, but like when you see Dave
Oh,
chilling
shit.
in a chair
Steins
just
Gate's
looking
done.
at his phone,
Steins Gate's
that
finished?
means
Yeah.
everything is
Oh!
I'm running things.
working. Still
Okay,
working.
we haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna get there
Oh
soon.
shit.
We've been kind of busy with everything else like Christmas.
And
I've
D20
gone
Live year-end stuff.
72
And-
hours without sleep.
Christmas.
Rob, that's not healthy.
I can do maybe 24 and then I start hallucinating.
Man.
I do not have
Like a
any-
solid
The
24.
problem is,
Yeah.
I
start
can't
seeing
do...
shit out of the corner of my
I
eyes.
used to be able to do 24 without issue. I can barely
those are
get to
the
like
Langoliers.
18 now.
I'm trying to think if I've ever been able to do a full 24, but I get weird
You
during
do.
the normal.
So
I
say we
start.
all.
I start. I
So
start,
say we all.
I start micro sleeping by accident.
I
Try to do that at work.
my sleep schedule
I
unfortunately
I fall
is so
asleep
bad.
for
Oh,
periods
yeah.
of 5 or 6 seconds at a time, and I dream while doing so.
Oh my
So
god.
I fly in and out of reality.
You
It's
dream about 5-second films.
It's really disorienting. Where someone will be talking and they're like, "Jordan," I'm like, "What?"
Why?
I'll just like wake up out of
What do you
nothing.
want from me? Jordan, you
Stop
okay?
hitting me with that bat! Like, just like, come
What
out
is
of
Cinco
nothing.
de Mayo about? Shut the fuck up.
Oh my god.
Like I start
3.5
freaking out.
days, 2 complete
That's my
playthroughs of Dragon Age
favorite
Origin.
5-second
Good
film.
for you.
Nice. Damn.
Oh man.
Oh no.
See, he starts hearing, the voices.
See,
start
Dave, you only
going.
say "oh no" to Dragon Age Origin because
No. I'm 3.5 days.
Yeah.
That's harsh.
Valhalla should get a return for next Shadowrun. Oh, Valhalla should get a return. Oh, and next time we do Shadowrun, I should play Valhalla. Yeah, but I spent the entire time yelling about that game.
Do a 24-hour no sleep tabletop stream.
No!
I have done a 24-hour no sleep
Game-a-thon?
Undermountain run,
Oh.
actually.
We did an all-night gaming thing for a friend's bachelor party
Yeah.
that we all 3 of us had gone to.
Yeah.
Do you remember at that cottage?
Yes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
by
Yeah.
about 3 or 4 in the morning, it got fucking weird.
Got really
Yup.
weird.
Oh man.
Not because anything strange happened, but the conversation died and we stared at each other for like 20 minutes. and nobody realized until after the fact. And there was like 5 of us.
There was 5 of us.
I would do a 24-hour stream
It
for
got
charity
weird.
Oh, absolutely.
because you would all come
totally,
for that.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You'd all come for that, and I'd just be like, "I'm going to GM for 24 hours." Sam would say, "Mike, stop," and I'd be like, and I would, it would get. It
I've
would
been too deep. It's too late.
I would
Too
say,
late to go
"Woman,
back."
you cannot tell this king what to do in his land."
8 hours in, you're just like
Like
sad
Eminem.
Kiana with a sandwich.
Yeah, it's like
12 hours later.
12 hours later. My dad never loved me.
I rule this kingdom.
It'll be amazing.
Mike, you're on the floor. It is my tract of land,
Thou shalt not throw thy salty shit in my face.
and
What?
the devil take the hindermost. Is that the couch? Verily.
I feel like we would someone would watch
Oh,
us up
fuck.
until midnight. That we'd be playing a game of some kind.
Yep.
They would go to bed, come back at 8 in the morning, and we're playing a wildly different
Different game.
And we don't know what the fuck happened.
It's like, what did I miss? It's like, there's no brakes on this ride.
Like we started in Pathfinder, ended in Shadowrun. Nobody knows what happened.
Just there's books. Like every so often when I get bored, I'm like, done with this system. Now you've teleported into Cyberpunk. I'm an elf. Good for you.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
You're just very pretty and with pointy ears. It's a body mod.
Yeah, 12 hours and it becomes an all Nauticus stream.
Ah.
Ah!
We might
Mike, when did you take up smoking?
Nauticus smokes, I think. Whatever he wants.
It was only the one time and for the 24-hour stream.
Dream.
Mike, I rolled a grapple.
Woo!
You're like, what are the rules again? I crawl over the table and just lie down on you.
There would be actual pillow forts. I was like, I am the new king. I have made my fortifications.
Remember
It's like
how
you ruined the couch.
12 hours later, they stump back into the stream and it's throwing pillows across each other.
Oh, damage.
There's like a
Fuck
literal
you.
solid hour where we're all
Fireball!
sleeping in this couch fort, so they're like, don't wake them.
Don't wait.
And I wake up, oh shit, guys, we're playing!
It's the stream is still on.
Oh no! Oh no! How many frames did we drop?
None. They heard.
Were there any
everything.
donations? How many people do we have to thank?
Like, how many frames did we drop? None. They heard everything.
Oh no.
That'd be the best. Like roll for combat, pillow across the room.
Ow!
Through
Oh,
a magic
good stuff.
missile. It's a low level spell.
Watch
but-
Tyler scream as it sails past the lakes.
My pretty lights!
Like when the fuck did Tyler get here?
I drove up. I said I was coming 3 hours ago. Oh man.
Oh man, shit.
Oh no.
Did we,
Sam
did we
was
respond? Sam had a full conversation with me.
He had to crawl in the window. Nobody let him in the front door.
And that's the scene where it's don't wake him. Like the stream's watching us and he steps
Like,
across into the
everyone's-
window and he's like, if you
What's
go
going
out in the
on?
woods today, and the stream is just saying, don't wake them, Tyler.
It'd be amazing. Like Mike's wearing like a Burger King crown. He's got like a blanket over front of him, and all you see is like everyone's passed out around like 3 in the morning, and then the screen just gets kicked into the room.
I'd hate to be the pizza guy in hour 20. No
Yeah.
shit. Like,
Oh, man.
I'm gonna go get food. I'm taking the camera with me. I'm yanking it out and taking it upstairs. What do you want to say to the people who are helping us with cancer?
Or helping us for cancer, not with cancer.
Well, dealing with it.
The context
That's
is wildly different.
content is what context.
Oh boy.
Oh god.
But
But seriously, about that extra live stream.
Thanks for reining us back in, Rob.
There you go.
This sounds like a great idea if we are
oh
ever.
god, we make a rule where it's change places, and if someone,
We
we
have
can
to hand
swap
our character
GMs.
sheets to the next person over.
Yeah, no, we just swap GMs, and then the new GM swaps in, and we're just resuming, and the GM takes over.
That's bad.
I don't
What
know
if-
where we're going.
What if something terrible had just happened to Devin? He was like, I'm in charge of this
No,
convoy
every-
now, bitches. My character lives again.
Lives again.
No, every hour, we draw from a hat, and you can only draw your name once, and that person's GMing.
Oh my god.
So, chat, in the end of year Q&A, like survey, we're going to have a little box, because it's SurveyMonkey, and you can just add shit.
Actually, it'll be Google Docs.
Google Docs this time,
Because
okay.
the SurveyMonkey has a count limit, and I'm not paying.
Oh, fair enough. It will be what would you like to see happen during the Extra Life stream, because we'll have 6 months to plan it. Extra Life's July, I think, right?
Oh god, no, that's just passed.
Yes.
I didn't. Okay, all right. Sorry.
We have a year plus. The only reason we didn't do it this year was because I didn't have a good plan for it.
Okay, so give us what you would like to see. We'll weed out all of Mike's bad ideas.
Hey!
And then we
can
can do
shit
it.
today for being the guy behind this operation.
We'll read out your ideas, and we'll temper them with mine.
Exactly.
And then we'll see what's up.
You gotta admit, GM swapping sounds like a lot of fun.
I like it.
I love that idea.
Just-
Like it's every 4 hours we swap GMs. Like,
I'd say every hour
Because when Mike gets fucked up, he inspires me.
to get even more fucked up.
Well, because that's how we came out with the that's how we came out with the Battle Tiger.
Battle
that is how we
Cat.
came up with Battle Cat.
If they want a 24-hour stream, they all want it.
Can we call it that for copyright reasons?
Battle Cat?
Yeah.
We can call it whatever we want.
We're talking with copyright reasons.
I want to call him Shotgun Tiger.
Yep.
Sounds like either a real, a very literal name, or the coolest ninja you've ever fucking seen.
yes.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah,
is that
Extra
how
Life
it-
is in October.
Yeah, it's in October. We just passed
It
it.
becomes a tandem battle.
Holy
tiger.
shit! That's how that's hinged in there. Also, Titanus's leg.
Oh, there you go.
Almighty.
King Brachion.
Yeah, sorry. Which comes out by pulling it out from this fucking peg, which is so precarious. And
Yeah.
super-
I'm hoping there's more parts to hold that in.
There's this slot.
All Pendragon, all mustaches.
The most epic of mustaches.
We all have to
Yeah.
grow mustaches.
DB4H is mid-November. Yes,
I mean,
we
I
got a
can,
year to
but-
plan
Me too.
that.
I would just shave everything else and keep my mustache, and then I would twirl it.
See, the problem is, at some
Sorry,
point, we'd
Liz.
hand the con off to Dom, and he tries so hard to be
For what?
to do something like really proper to bring it back to normal. We'd be like, "Motherfucker, you've got all of us on the
I
other
feel
side."
like if we gave Dom the fucking green light, he would beat us all to it.
Yep.
But yeah,
I bet
And you know what? Random encounter tables for everything that happens.
Why not?
Group
God,
submission,
Jade.
and audience can participate as well. I am
God.
damning us all.
You're damning
Yes,
us
you are.
all.
I feel like
And and audience, go. When do we say? When it's like, tell us when. Can we do? Wait.
it has
Yeah,
to be
donation based every time.
No,
they throw in something onto the random encounter table.
And it's
Love it. I love it. Also, can we do the thing we did for Pokemon for the live stream? All the monster manual
God.
monsters, and just go beep, and like, what are we encountering? Stop, and the
Oh,
audience
that-
tells us when to stop.
That's a real pain in the ass.
Okay, I was just
I'll tell you right
curious.
now.
I can do
It's
it.
a Tarrasque
but,
for the fourth
man.
time.
I was just gonna say
like
This one's blue.
they run
Yeah.
it.
But yeah, no. Just
It's
they
shiny.
we
Oh,
can have it that the
no.
audience submit in with donations,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
The more they donate, the higher it goes in the tier.
Yep.
The earlier it'll come up,
Okay. Yeah.
right? And they're like, I want this event to happen, as long as it's not like cross burning or something obscene like that, right?
Yes.
We're gonna
Nothing
Yeah.
racist.
nothing racist, please.
And we'll
Not
moderate.
saying
And
you
we'll
guys will go to
moderate it as
racist,
we go.
I'm
To be
pre-saying-
fair, if our only stipulation is nothing racist, that leaves a wacky amount of other shit still, okay?
Exactly.
Yes, that's right, Rob. Shiny Tarrasque.
Shiny Tarrasque.
I just say
It's
nothing
the rare
racist.
one.
I just say nothing racist because
This
of
is
the
the
fact that
world
I have
under.
been slowly going crazy while captioning the 2014 game.
Oh my god, there's so much racism. in
There's
that
so
game.
much racism in that game, and every time Connell says something in that stupid
Woo!
Chinese accent, I just write down something else that like
Offsets
equally
it.
offsets it. Like just in brackets beside him, like beside his name, it's just like, oh god, this accent.
It was a great Mrs. Swan impression.
Yes.
I
It
know,
was.
but it's
And
just
then
like-
there's all the racism comments from it's like about being a dwarf.
Yep.
Like, are you trying? It's like, can you not just tell us what the stone is? Are you presuming that I know about stone because I'm a dwarf, sir? That is horribly racist.
That
I'm
was
like,
actually
wow.
good,
What's
Nash
sorry?
is- Nash is such an underrated player at
Oh,
my table.
Yeah.
Devin, you're up. Do you guys have any advice about makeup for cosplaying or crossplaying?
No.
Devin might.
Sam, Mike?
Yes, yes. What are you trying to cosplay?
Yeah, what are you trying to cosplay?
Because I have
Yeah,
very
I've been quiet
limited.
for a while.
All my
Oh,
stuff
okay,
is
so you
theater
want makeup tips
experience.
in general, I can help.
So
Put
is
it on
mine.
your face.
Because if
Such
you're
a pile
going,
of shit, Jordan.
if you're going with like, if
And
you're
for
going
Devin,
with like
he is
theater
a
makeup,
master of blackface.
no,
No, he is not.
I'm sorry.
Dave.
No.
He was playing a
dark
drow.
elf
He
face.
was playing a drow.
Dark elf
He was
face.
playing a drow.
You have
Yes.
to preface that. It's not blackface.
Oh.
God damn it, Dave.
Oh.
Okay.
Don't you
Gray?
He played a drow. It was dark gray.
Yes. In fact, our LARP said... Our LARP, back when we did it, specifically...
Oh, Devin, you used to be the nice one.
Oh, God, I know. And I'm like, this wasn't even my fault.
Reputation is ruined now.
Devin is a good boy.
Oh,
Devin is a good
oh,
boy.
man.
Yes.
He's,
We're gonna go back to
he's
the
not
Discord
racially
saying-
insensitive.
So I
I'm
hear
the
you're a
dumb
racist,
one.
Devin. It's kind of like Father Ted. So I hear you're a racist, Devin.
So now I can't have my stepsister watch this because she's Grenadian.
Oh, no.
Like, great, thanks, Dave.
Uh,
All right, so context.
yes,
The
yes,
LARP-
it was an elf.
The correction
Nobody
and
likes
context. The LARP that I was a part of did not encourage
Burn it to the ground.
was very much against the concept of drow because of that very reason.
Yeah.
So the LARP did a version of drow that is gray. You basically were encouraged to find a makeup that made it look like you took your face, rubbed it around in the ashes of a dead fire, and then pulled your face out. It's like ashen gray skin, not blackface. Never blackface.
We're not talking Senior Chang here.
Oh, God. Holy crap.
I love you, Devin. I love you.
If we don't make it onto the live stream fail fucking subreddit, the world is broken forever.
Exactly.
There was wild amounts of context around this one.
So much.
D20 Live, the most unrated sack of assholes on the internet. Oh my god.
Dave was
Oh, God.
subsequently fired.
Fired from the...
Fire, fire, all
Out of
fire.
a cannon.
All fire. All fire. All fire. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
And Dave
That's
was,
never not gonna be funny.
was slayed.
Oh.
That was
Oh,
the greatest
shit.
thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh, I'm actually crying. Like, actual tears are in my face right now.
and if anyone from Fantasy Live is watching, because I know some of you do, I'm so sorry.
No.
Oh, I'm not. This is great.
I
Particularly-
thought they were weird.
Particularly
As the
Doug.
social manager. I am banning all apologies forever. No apologies.
Oh,
Dark
I can
purple
override
is
that.
used in
I'm still your
many
boss.
LARPs for that reason. Yeah, exactly, Mythic.
Look at
Yeah.
this guy trying to just like so hard to recover.
Oh,
Dave does not reflect the views of the of D20 Live. He is a wild man.
D20 Live does not review, does not endorse its own opinion.
Dave, in our defense, Dave is sitting in one of the crazy chairs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a fucking defense ever.
Maybe.
Can
Oh,
I see
God.
the YouTube chat?
Okay. No apologies, no context.
Seeing Jordan, Berg, they're just laughing at us.
Zero
Oh,
apologies.
By the way,
Never
Jordan,
apologize.
Devin, the character was Celestia Ludenberg from Danganronpa.
Pardon? I'm missing the context.
Oh,
For the makeup, the thing that brought us to this place.
Oh, yes, right.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, we got a point. Okay.
We got a point to this.
We're coming back. We're coming
Um,
back.
it
Reel
is
it back,
okay. So
everybody.
it's for a cosplay. Find the first most important thing.
I think I'm
Don't
dead.
use cream makeup. Use cake makeup.
Yes.
Go to a theater store. Find cake makeup because if you sweat in cream makeup, it will come off in rivulets, and your face will look like it's bleeding and crying all at the same time.
Gross.
So
Unless you want that effect.
unless you want
Also-
that effect, yeah.
Also, test the makeup on your skin to see if you
Yeah.
react to it.
Test it on
Always
your
test
hands.
It. Test it at
Yeah.
least a month before you actually have to go and wear it, because
I'm not
otherwise
even
you
remotely
will
gonna bring up
probably
that time I
react
was
to
a
it
monster.
if you're anything like me.
Oh, you have to now.
Yeah, it's,
Remember
I
that
hope that
film
didn't
I
get
was in for
clipped.
John?
yes, the film
Skull,
you're in
did
for
you
John.
clip
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
And the color
Yeah.
they painted
Oh
me.
my god.
I don't recall the. Oh yeah. that-
Devin can now never run for office.
So true. It's like this will come back to haunt me.
That was the
Oh,
greatest
God.
thing I've ever seen.
That was great. Oh man.
But no, yeah, it was Dishun and Fantasy Live are gray. It's interesting because
You were not gray.
because every single
Not
season
originally.
it was something that when the
So
LARP
great.
first started,
Yeah.
So great.
that was not a public concern. Like, it wasn't something that was
It never
across
came
the
up.
internet. It never came up. But the moment that people started becoming sensitive to it, we were respectful and went, okay, we're going to go over here with makeup and never any darker.
Yeah.
So it became the, like, you must be ashen gray, and that's it.
Devin ruined by you too.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and many LARPs do what, like Mythic said, they go dark purple or dark blue or something like that.
To get around
Yeah,
it. Because
to
there
get
are
around
still
it.
a thing that people
Or
want to play.
do what the Night Elves and WoW.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're-
purple.
straight up purple. Yeah,
Well, Russ is got a
exactly,
point. You can't run for office in Canada, but you still can in America.
yeah. Oh God.
You can't run for the highest office. though.
Vicious shots fired.
Yes.
Yeah, I was
Dang.
born in Hawaii. Shut up.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so anyways, going forward.
quickly,
So,
before they catch
somehow-
up.
Who's built things? Who's built things?
Yeah, we're building
I
things.
have
That's
built
things.
the front and hind legs of Titanus, and I just put the stickers on them.
That's amazing. Let's see it.
Like,
Put it in the camera now.
Right now, like,
Distract
right now,
them.
distract them.
but I'm not done putting the stickers
All
on.
of this is forever on the internet.
Forever.
Oh my god, we're such a pack of assholes.
If you wish to hang,
I can't remember
me,
where I was in this
you
project.
can meet
No.
me at.
If you wish to hang you, wow,
No,
no,
you are-
Okay.
You're
So yeah, apparently
impossible
some
to
local cons
replace.
are
How
just
about
banning
Crucify?
the black
I'm
thing for
still alive
drive.
when they do that.
No,
What's
you're
that?
impossible
Say
to
it again?
replace.
Rob Higgin was saying like his local con banned
wanna burn an effigy of me.
blackface people.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, it's I completely agree with it.
It is a shame. I will say that it is a shame that we have
Yeah.
to make that distinction that's such something that could be used for a fantasy setting to show racial diversity, but it's like there's.
But why not just leave your skin color as is? One of the most popular female cosplayers has done Symmetra, who's an Indian character, has done the Diablo. No, a night elf druid for WoW, and she doesn't color her skin. She just makes her costume speak for it and doesn't color her skin at all because she doesn't want to do that. It's like, what does it matter? So it's
Dark
just
Summer's Wind says I can get cake makeup from a theater store. Is that the best place to get them?
yeah, you're okay. If you live in the GTA, I can tell you specific places where to go, but you probably don't. I think you said you're in the UK.
Don't say it on stream. We'll
yeah.
get a discussion going
Yeah.
in craft chat.
Yeah, but yes, cake makeup at a theater store. Don't go to like Halloween post-Halloween sales because that's always cream makeup and it's
Don't-
usually low quality.
Don't go to Sephora.
Yeah,
Don't know.
and whenever you're applying it,
That's makeup.
get makeup sponges. Wet the sponge, not the cake. Just wet the sponge and apply it that way. It's a lot more smooth and easier to work with.
Devin, would you show my thing off to the camera?
Yeah.
Closer. Just because I was asked to do so.
And then whenever you get your makeup on, take baby powder and put baby powder in your face, so that way it'll stay all day.
It is the cheap setting
Really that
powder
one.
essentially. You could get real setting powder to do it as well, but
That one?
it's more
Wanna leave that
expensive that
alone?
way.
Titanicus's leg.
Which one?
That one?
Which one?
You know. Never mind.
I didn't hear.
I believe we all.
Surprisingly, Euro LARPers don't quite
That
get
one.
why blackface is bad.
That one.
Well,
Oh, wow.
Well, to be fair, it's still
That
new.
one.
Wow, well, Euro LARPers need to actually,
That one
Well,
is
to be
the
fair,
one I was
to be
talking
fair,
about.
to be fair, they're still a relatively new concept, but you know.
for them maybe, yeah.
You clowns.
For them maybe.
I was like, we're gonna leave that one alone,
Really,
right?
that one alone.
What, that one I just read out loud
No,
full
I
volume? Was like, you fucking asshole.
So
So we're gonna move past that.
Rusty
Like,
He
what?
has
does.
very
one-
good armor.
Guys, we got a question.
I have an alternate persona I call Looney Rusty, who he shows up when I'm really tired and I don't want to sleep. Last time he was used for good, basically being Dr. Phil and making two people understand each other.
Okay, cool.
Well, as long as you use your powers for good,
As
Rusty,
long-
that's all
exactly.
that
And not
matters.
like us.
You see
for-
this.
for
You see
juvenile
for chat, this chair here
shenanigans.
and the chair that all GMs sit in for D20 Live are called the Madness chairs.
You know, you say that. Maybe this basement's just crazy.
Maybe. They're called the Madness chairs. We all adopt different personalities and rarely use them for good. Whenever we sit in either of these chairs, I'm glad, Rusty, you are better people than we are.
We're
Yeah,
not good
so
people.
the one over there is the Mouth of Chaos.
Yes,
Where?
That's one.
that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It inspires all to do
horrible,
Insane, strange
things. Yeah. What am I doing? Oh, I'm painting treasure chests. That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Japan has to wake up to.
Ignore that. You are just being such a troll, Tim Siller. And like, let's see what I can throw out there. What's gonna hook him? Come on. Trying to start
Inquiry.
dumpster
Will you ever
fires.
do a Power Rangers game?
I'll vote it up.
Yeah.
Vote it up. I actually have a theory about what's going to place this year for stream at Bravo. I have 2 games I'm guessing. I don't want to say what they are because I don't want to influence it.
Have you started prepping for Bravo next year?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious.
To be fair, we have to talk to Dom because he is
he's
our
the-
resident.
He is to Avatar
guy.
what I am to Transformers.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
that's the measure.
That is the measure.
It's like, how hardcore is he, Mike? Ah!
Ah.
He gave his life and his heart to it.
Yes.
Shall never be a woman who takes its place in his heart.
Poor Beth.
When my
I love how you said poor Beth and not poor
me.
Sam.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Dom.
Well, yes, but like for me for Transformers.
Oh, yes. And for you as well.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Nary Shell,
Yeah.
you
I
understand
finally
what he
figured
has
out
with
Yeah.
Transformers.
2 Power Rangers plots I could do, finally. 'Cause I've
Question
been spending
regarding a
years-
Power Rangers game.
Yeah.
Would that be largely combat oriented, or would you actually attempt to crack out a story involving the Power Rangers?
You are aware what Power Rangers is, right?
It's combat oriented.
Yeah, because like, okay, I could do a story, but
And a
here's the
lot
thing:
of-
if
I'm
I
just
add,
saying, would you as a person try to crack out a story in the Power Rangers universe that was somehow compelling,
yeah, a little
or
bit,
would
but
you just follow suit? With
no,
the
I would,
episode?
I would, for one of them, for one concept, which is, I'll say because I've said them before. One, I would do a pure Power Rangers game, but I would be Power Rangers, and the theme is it's RPG classes.
Like the colors kind
Yeah,
of thing. Okay.
Like the Red Ranger's the fighter, and
Yeah.
so that there you have this nice diversity.
They
with
almost
the
kind of establish that in the game itself, or like in the show itself.
yeah, but like really,
through the
really,
through the person's personalities.
yeah, but really hit that it's also mechanical resonance too, right?
Well, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
And that would be a much more bog standard Power Rangers episode of something is happening. We've got to stop this. I know I got Italian when I made that accent, but something is happening. We got to stop it. The other concept I had was Power Rangers Origins, which shows what happened originally the day Zordon got taken down and what happened to the original Ranger team.
Because I'm out of the loop here.
Yeah.
Did they ever really explain why Zordon was a disembodied head?
Yeah, Rita. She did it to him.
What did she do though?
She basically
Terrible
murdered him.
So is he a techno ghost?
terrible person.
For lack of a better
Yes.
term, yes. He's
Rita.
he
Yeah.
basically has enough
Well, that's her
power
whole point,
to
right? She's a
keep
foil.
himself
Yes.
alive
Oh,
Yeah.
completely.
in
yeah.
that
Yeah,
tube.
so-
If I
Completely foil.
Like is it
That
psychic
bitch.
power or is it like
It's-
what are we
it's-
talking here?
it's,
How could
it's
she?
poorly 90s defined power.
So just
Her
power.
Just power.
Goddamn
Okay.
monsters.
The other
The
I-
voting.
like
okay.
He-Man was
Alright.
power.
Dark Simmers win. There will be a link on December 16th
yeah.
because that is when we're gonna make
We're
the
gonna put
thing
it out.
go
There will
live.
be a stream. You will not miss it. Just watch us.
We're just promoting this. We're promoting the stream so that way
Because-
you will come and watch us while answering these questions.
Because yeah, every year we put this thing up, it gets voted on, and it is what decides what will be happening at Bravo. Because the biggest thing will be going not for next year, but for 2020. This will dictate what Bravo is.
Is Twitch chat down? No.
No.
Not as far as we know.
No,
Oh, it might not be up in the
the thing.
in
No,
the-
I'm seeing it right there.
Is it? No, it's there.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, we're all good as far as Twitch chat goes.
Yeah. If not, we're still seeing it. So
Whoa.
That's the important part.
yeah.
Oh,
Well, if it's showing up there, then it's showing up on the stream.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, it would depend entirely. Like, I'd run both scenarios by you guys if there was a Power Rangers game. Be like, what's more fun to you? This complex narrative that actually feeds the Power Rangers lore, or just a fun, wacky kind of Power Rangers-esque episode? You know,
I
with a
mean, I
different
think
theme.
there's room for both things because, like,
Yeah.
we could do one that's an extreme throwback to like first season Power Rangers.
Yeah.
That takes itself too seriously.
Mhm.
Thing, and I think we could really do that and really run with it. You know what I mean?
Well, keep in mind, it's not you guys would be doing it.
all
Guests
chat
or
was
pros.
not
Still.
updating for a full minute.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Oh,
I think
Sorry.
that based on how we run things in general here, we could really do like a really solid job of that. But then again, doing something a bit more seriously oriented, but based maybe more loosely on the Power Rangers universe.
Yeah.
Like making it like because they did a bunch of seasons where they're like space cops and shit, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you could do something like that.
Yeah,
It
it's
would
not-
be much more compelling as opposed to just wacky and fun. So I think there's room for both of those things.
Agreed. Yeah.
I'll be if it made it to Bravo, I would be more inclined to do the wacky fun thing
Of course.
because it's in front of a live audience and they prefer that. I think it's starting to be now that
Although if you did have Power Rangers at
It's-
Bravo, you have to have like.
Car-
yeah, no, there's no
They
argument. with
literally
that.
just said that. Like,
Oh, I'm
it was
sorry.
No, you didn't see it. Like, it was literally just said, like,
Oh,
Yeah, no.
same time.
Yeah,
I
so
have-
that is a Linkar
I
mandatory.
do kind of want to have someone other than Linkar up for a year just so I can have a little bit more diversity.
So we
at
can't
the
do it
table.
this year because it's Avatar.
Yeah, but he's not a huge Avatar fan.
Dude, if you
No,
don't
we
include-
can't do him this year.
Yeah.
because
We're gonna try and not
Is he
have
an Avatar
Linkara.
fan?
It was not. We're gonna
Oh.
try not to. He's always welcome, and he's a very great player.
It's like we're just gonna prioritize other people.
Because just to have some diversity.
Dude, that guy's gonna get chained to the table. He's gonna like,
I know, right?
you can never get rid of me.
He'll
And
show
I
up in
owe
the
that
audience
man.
and be like,
I owe that
ah!
man a great deal, and I will never forget that because his constant presence has been a good piece of growth.
I'm just making
For
fun.
D20 Live.
I'm
Well,
not
no, because I don't want to
suggesting
ever
that.
sound like I'm not grateful to Linkara
No, of course.
for what he has given
He
with both
is
his time
a
and
lovely
his
man.
interest.
No, for sure.
Never
It's
do
just-
I
it's funny, like,
ever want that ever to be the case.
the second you announce there's going to be D20 Live, he's like, I'm there, right? Me? Now? Sign me up. Right now.
Yeah.
Now. Like,
Now, why am I not signed up?
he's like,
Mike,
he's like that kind
Mike.
of guy who gets off a roller coaster and immediately goes and stands in line for it again.
Like, you remember what happened last time, right? Doesn't matter, I had fun. Okay.
Okay.
Nash, too, actually. He really enjoys his time on the table.
Yeah, we like Nash.
He's good.
We just wish there were more serious games that we would like to throw Nash in.
Because he prefers serious games?
No, it's just because we prefer him in a serious game.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't think I've seen him in a serious game.
He was in 2014 with the
What,
Oh.
the Miss Swan
yeah,
creation?
with the
Oh,
Swan.
boy.
Yeah,
And
okay,
he
let's
was in
rephrase
That
I don't
wasn't a
think-
serious game.
I don't think
that
D20
was
Live's-
Tomb of Horrors.
We've never had a serious game at Bravo, despite my best attempts.
Yep.
Well, I mean,
And I came. You gotta admit, my
Although-
plot for Pokemon this year was good.
The Aliens
Yeah.
one was pretty good.
Yeah.
Although that turned into I interrogate the facehugger.
Yeah, that was just too good.
how do you say no to me?
How do you say no to that? How do you say no to role playing on that level?
You don't. I can't.
I still
Oh,
It's like, this
that's
is what it is.
amazing.
You graciously hand the crown to him and just facilitate.
Let him roll.
Yep.
Like, you just let him do his biz.
Oh fuck, that was
It's
a
just
great
like
year.
he's just like, I want my interrogation kit, Mike. Okay, it's just a bat with a nail with it. And in my head, I'm like, I can't say no to anything this man says for the rest
No,
of the
you
night.
can't. Like, it's impossible.
Because A,
He's
that
too
was
good.
amazing, and B,
He was a force of
he's
nature.
dressed as fucking Hunter S. Thompson.
Agent of Hydra.
It's like, look, what do you do?
He's a really sweet guy.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I still feel bad that he is best known for Shepard, which is his least interesting character he's ever done.
Shepard being...
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect
Oh.
Shepard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's him.
Sorry, I keep
He
forgetting.
did FemShep. Sorry, Mark Mirror, if you're out there.
He's,
I'm sure
Welcome,
does-
Grand
'cause he does
Admiral
improv
Thawne.
comedy
I'm
in
sure he's fine.
Calgary, and he does
Welcome,
very.
Grand Admiral Thong?
Thrawn.
Oh, Thrawn, yes. Grand
And he
Admiral
does
Thong,
improv comedy, and he's really
It's a different
good.
guy.
Yes.
But he does a lot of zany, very out there kind of stuff, and just seeing him be Shepard is such a contrast to his normal work. But it's also his most iconic character.
Oh, that's
You know,
because
it's
it
like-
was so damn popular.
It's like Spike Spencer with Evangelion.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's Shinji.
Despite the fact that Spike Spencer hates that
He
character.
hates being
So
Shinji.
much.
Why sign up for it then?
Because it's
It was
money.
a job. It was a job in the '90s, and
Oh my.
he was really good for the voice. Because he sounds like how you would imagine Shinji would sound, because he can do that to his voice. Yeah. But the best outtake at all is him at the end of Evangelion. No offense to those of you who are fans, where he's just
Oh my god.
The Shinji rant at the
where
end.
he's just like it's the end of the show. He's just like,
He goes-
okay, are we leaving it there? Are we not answering any of these questions? I got questions. Why am I floating? Because he's commenting on the backdrop for the closing credits. For Japanese, it's always something really ephemeral and psychological, and for Evangelion, it was even more so.
Yeah.
And he's just like, okay, there's the moon. Someone's really butchering. Fly me to the moon. Okay, all right, bye guys. And it just cuts. And I'm like,
Bring back the Expendables.
oh god,
Unfortunately,
that was Terrible Warriors.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's
That's
not D20 Live's IP.
well, it is. It's mine.
Well, yes, but-
No. I'll say this. I will say this. They did say any IP I use, I was welcome to take wherever I want.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Ooh.
Yeah. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to bring it here because it was something so iconically Terrible Warriors because it was the first game they ever did.
Yeah.
Right. And it felt
And we'd
to me
ruin
it
it.
felt really shitty to do to be like we're doing the Expendables here at D20 Live right after
Yeah.
I had left. That was just the line I didn't want to cross.
That's fair. Is
Yep.
there a chance of re-exploring that though at some point?
I kind of want to.
To be fair, we have that one thing
Yeah.
planned for.
One thing that got pointed out was why don't you do something different? We did Magical Girl Expendables.
Yeah,
We're gonna do Magical Girl Expendables.
that sounds actually fun.
No,
I don't know what that is.
Magical Girls like Sailor
Maybe.
Moon. And...
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Oh, just in general, that's
Yeah.
the theme.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Got it,
Yeah.
got it.
Which is a really fun idea I want to do. And I do want to do Video Game Expendables some point, but I need an entirely new plot to start from.
Yeah.
And the plot of Mega Man getting infected with a Wily virus and killing everyone was a really fun one. So I need something more evocative of the person I am now. Oh yeah, Spike had way more fun in Martian Successor and Nadesco.
Yep. Oh, there we go. Oh.
I finished binding this book.
It's done.
I finished binding it. Now I have to. I forgot to bring the extra like pages, so that way I could do this.
That's okay. You can give kind of an in-between tutorial on what it looks like outside of the leather.
Give you something to craft in January. This is not going to be done in the next 10 minutes. I'm taking my sweet time with it because I rushed the Dragon Zord and I'm still not comfortable with that.
But yeah, if you guys are interested in any kind of books that I am binding, these are perfect for sketching or for note-taking or for...
Or to have a piece of D20 Live memorabilia.
Exactly.
We sell commemorative plates and spoons too.
Not yet.
Don't
but...
say that. We'll have to after.
I'll sell them a goddamn spoon. I didn't say it was good. I'll grab a spoon
It's
from
not
my
quite
mom's
mithril.
house. You can have that one.
Spoon from my mom's house.
I can't believe it's not mithril.
I'll scratch D20 Live into it with a X-Acto knife. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. That's
Off
the
you
Jordan
go. That's
spirit.
$45.
But yeah, guys, if you want to buy a book, then they're $35. Just message me on Discord. Ugh.
We're all more or less always reachable by Discord.
Yes.
We have active accounts on there. Our server is quite lively. If people are watching that aren't part of it,
Yeah.
we invite you to come hang out.
Yep, we're all
I
pretty
do
chill.
wield the band hammer with extreme prejudice there.
Fantasy
I haven't had to
Never
use
be
it once
afraid.
yet, but God help me when you do.
Never feel afraid to
God
come
help
and have
me!
a-
You're just
have
waiting
a
for the
time.
day someone pops a swastika in that thing.
Hang
Oh
on,
my
what did Rusty
God!
say?
I will-
And you're
Oh,
gone.
Great Admiral Thrawn and his Great Admiral thongs. That's what Rusty
Yeah.
said.
Whoopsies.
It has pips on it.
Command cylinders.
Yeah.
And you will understand why. I can't do Thrawn's voice.
No, you sound like Don Corleone.
I do. He does, though. He has a very...
No.
We need a
Don
sticker.
Corleone is also
Ron-
too cool. He sounds
Ron-
like the Godfeather.
Ronflu says need to stamp the logo on
Animaniacs
them.
throwback.
Animaniacs
Yeah.
throwback.
Motherfucker.
Video game wacky races. Oh my god, why don't I just do that?
What?
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 But Mario Kart, but everyone's invited.
What?
Huh?
Mario,
Oh, for Video Game Expendables?
Yeah,
Mario Kart, but
but
everyone's invited.
like Sonic's there, he's just running.
Because
Keep
why would he
running
drive
over
a
his feet with the carts?
Why would he drive a
Smash,
car?
smash.
Why was he on a snowboard?
Why? It's like Sonic. Why are you just running? Have you met me?
Gotta go fast.
Do you know me at all?
No.
Did you know me at
I
all?
like that.
No,
I like
we've
that. I
never
like the
met
idea of it being an open competition, actually. But you kind of already
Who
did
invited
that.
that animal? Why
didn't
is
do
he
that
on
for
two
me.
feet?
I
Why?
did speech.
Oh, it
You
talks!
did an Olympics,
It talks!
remember?
Yes, but
Why
it's
does
still
the hedgehog
speech.
talk?
Oh, yeah.
Why is it blue?
Why is it blue? Why does it talk? What's going on?
You know, there's a pink guy over there. Pollo! What the hell is that?
There.
Oh, like, what would they compete for, though? What would they get? Oh, probably like a wish or some shit.
A wish spell. No.
No, something like...
Oh boy.
Something unique to video games that's really powerful.
Triforce.
Yeah, wish on the Triforce.
24 hours in the real world.
God, no.
Oh god, I have so many fingers! This place is
I'm
too
in
real.
multi-bit dimensional.
Yeah, I know Sonic has a car, but I would just take a shot at that. Can I just pull a D20 Live sticker on the bin bag and call it D20 Live canvas bag? Yeah.
I mean, technically, yeah, you can do whatever you want at this point.
There are companies that will do that
It's-
for us.
Yeah, they're called Teespring.
Yeah.
I am not going to lie, the amount of shit I could have put the D20 Live logo on was embarrassing.
Shit, no. Merchandise.
Merchandise.
Yes.
Yes.
It's merch.
He
Sell
meant
it
to
right.
Oh, it gives away Game Genie codes. There you go.
Hey.
That's
Whoa.
actually a really neat idea.
Ooh. Well, that would mean
wow.
they know that they're video games, though, and they don't. That's kind of a rule of D20 Live is you don't know you're a fictional character. The way I've explained it is, if someone is a fictional character in a parallel world, like say Scion, because Sion's based in the real world.
Yeah.
But Majora's Mask exists as well in the multiverse.
Yes.
Damn it.
It's just a what?
So much stuff.
Yeah. Fallout 76 is bad. We all know that.
What do you mean so much
What?
stuff?
Just like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, we
it's
know.
this, and then the Majora's Mask universe exists. Like, of course it does.
Because it
And
has.
tips
God
are
damn it.
Fallout
Yes.
76 is
We
bad.
have
Yes,
something
we know.
being simple and
Yeah.
not complex. No. The canon Bible is 12 pages.
What?
We have a canon.
His canon, like, manuscript
We mean
master copy.
We actually-
we actually did.
Because
What, for the
because
D20 live
Yeah.
thing.
he,
Yes.
he wrote a canon Bible because I needed it for something for Warcraft.
And,
Like,
and Scott.
yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember something about this point in your world.
I literally spent a
Gotcha.
whole day writing that thing up.
We did.
Yeah.
It's the
With
chillest.
Sam's help,
It
and
was
I
a
could not have done it
wee
without her.
thing.
So it's literally meant for the GM, so that way they know what we're talking about when we're
Oh,
saying
geez,
this thing
is the
happened.
longest part.
Yeah.
Also, it's better because I'm starting to forget things, which is bad.
Oh, there's so much stuff in there.
There's mucho stuff. There is
It's
there,
weird-
there
it
is a
was
TV
weird.
trope. There's a
It
TV
was-
trope article about it.
It
Yep.
was
What?
weird. It was
There's a
weird
full
reading
TV
it all though,
tropes
because it's like we
article
have a
about
really
us.
dense, meaty canon.
What is?
What?
D20 Live,
canon.
our canon is like really dense and meaty, and I'm really proud of that.
The word you're looking for is convoluted.
Thick. Tuscan.
I know.
Sausage-like? Are we going with that kind of word?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Our continuity is thought.
So, it's meaty and oily.
That
and
hoe over
bad
there,
for
yeah, I
you.
can go with that.
I like sausage like it's meaty and oily and slightly bad for you. Best served with breakfast.
That's sort of breakfast. Yep. The scrolls of Galrum.
beers at
and
night.
power. This. Mm.
It was nylon, I believe, the bags.
Oh yeah, that whole Fallout 76 bag thing.
Oh, what the
that's-
fuck was
Bag
that?
thing.
Basically, they said that with the $200 collector's edition, you were going to get a canvas bag
Oh,
that
yeah.
came with the power armor helmet in it.
Yes.
It turns out they sent out this garbage Halloween-style nylon bag
Oh.
instead,
Okay.
and then people complained and they said, "Yeah, we weren't able to find the canvas for the canvas bag, so we made these instead. Too bad, so sad." Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
The end.
The end.
Oh, did you get
There's-
awarded like 500 bottle caps and they're like practically worth nothing?
I don't know about that, but they bait and switched a lot of people.
They did. Yeah. Fallout 76
That's
is
rough.
such a hot mess. Yeah.
There's pictures of the amount of stock that Walmart bought of Fallout 76, and no one's buying that.
It's
game
just
right
sitting there, isn't it?
Now. Yeah, because it's not even that. Like
Oh,
if
boy.
if the marketing products had been shit, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But
the
the
game
game
is
itself
horrible.
is a disaster.
It's-
Well, apparently it's Fallout 4's engine.
Yeah.
Just
It's
pop-
Fallout
which is
4's
fantastic.
bugged engine
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not like
Um,
fixed either.
because Bethesda didn't fix Fallout 4. The community fixed Fallout 4.
Yeah.
D20 Live still better continuity than the DC.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I can get with that.
Except
Yep.
for Wonder Woman. She is a gem.
Yes.
Yes.
That is a gem of a movie. Yeah. So it's.
We got to put that out there. The
Yeah,
DCU is terrible, except
But
for
again,
Wonder Woman.
but they gave us
No,
Wonder Woman.
Ares was fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like, how does he still have the mustache? How did they face swap him onto a dude 2.5 feet taller? It's bullshit. Why did they just change the actor? Like, it was a disguise the whole time. It's like, why do you still look like a fucking mail carrier that grew 2.5 feet and 4 more feet wide? This sort of shit. You guys fucked up. You kept this disgusting mustache. Are you shitting me? Are you telling me that Ares, the god of all galactic anything war ever, has a gross push broom mustache? Is that what you're telling me right now?
He does have it in Scion now because you've given Mike the idea.
It's stupid.
Ares with a push for a mustache.
Look at me like your fucking mustache is disgusting. Kill me. I don't care.
Oh, beautiful.
You wouldn't run into him. The girls run the Scion game.
Whatever.
And they get to deal with the push brim mustache.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Alright.
even like
all,
a thick
all Odin,
mustache.
all
It was
Odin does,
gross.
all Odin does in Scion is tell dad jokes.
Well, yeah, it's Odin. Come on.
Come on, Mike. That's just obvious. Don't be basic.
Don't be
Don't
basic.
be a basic bitch.
We're all mad at Zeus because it's Zeus.
Yeah.
Because it's Zeus. And it's dad.
He won't just.
I
stop
told you
fucking
Hernan
stuff.
Cortez was in Scion. You
Zeus's
lost your
Tinder
mind.
picks
Yeah.
up on park benches.
Mustache.
Mustache.
It
Alright, so-
just works. Todd Howard on every game he has ever had his dirty hands in.
Yes.
Grungy little grubby fingers.
All right. Well, I am leaving this here, and I'll continue to work on it as time goes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. I'm leaving that stuff.
To be fair, if you won't work on it, then I will. So
Just leave it here. You can keep
Yeah.
gluing it.
It's basically all you really need. They're cut to shape, but they're not. They're cut to size.
they're
but,
not
They're not
Fitted.
shaped and beveled and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So they're so that's the all you need to work on is sanding them
I want
down.
to finish
Yeah.
this fucking leg before.
Because if you don't come here
stream
next
is
time,
done.
then I'll work
No,
on
it's
it.
not.
Then.
You can't
And then we
finish
can
it.
get
We're done.
Done.
The stream has 30 seconds, Mike. Go faster.
Yeah, that ain't
Faster.
happening.
Please like and subscribe.
The next time you will see us will be Saturday night at
Hold on,
7
we gotta do
o'clock.
this. You gotta do this right. Hold on. Yo, like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon.
Punch that
Push
like
that
Push
button.
that bell.
Because YouTube sucks in that regard.
It really does.
YouTube apocalypse is upon us.
Yes.
Punch that like
Punch
button.
that like button.
Punch it.
If you don't have the bell on, punch that too.
Falcon
Just-
punch.
That
Smash
bell
it right
button.
there,
That's
like, bah!
Kick it with your foot. Ruin your laptop.
All right, thank you everyone. Bye.
Sacrifice things for us. We will
I'm going
get
to finish
stronger.
the leg off screen because I got parts clipped and it's been decided for me that we're done.
Our next
Yes.
stream is going to be on Saturday, where we're playing. We're finishing Deltarune, and
What's Deltarune?
Deltarune is a game that's the
Oh,
sequel,
that's that game.
sequel prequel to Undertale.
Yep.
So we're finishing that, and then right after that, we're playing the Pendragon game on Sunday,
Yay,
Woo-hoo!
Pendragon.
3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And if you like us, perhaps choose to support us on Patreon.
Yeah.
We don't say no. We're whores like that.
Patreon. The Patreon link is above Dave's head.
Yes.
There.
Hold on,
Right
it's a little
there.
more.
Yeah, I got it.
Yay!
Right, this one right here.
Yeah.
And I don't know what this one is,
That's Facebook.
That's Facebook.
but this one is our Patreon link.
Yep.
Give that a clicky clack. Give it
And that's our YouTube. If
Yeah.
you're
Here,
watching us now, you would probably
That
know
was
that.
Twitch.
That was Twitch.
our YouTube. Nope, that way. Our YouTube thing's over here.
Yeah.
You guys
This
see
is
what I
Devin.
did? I know what
That's
you did.
Devin.
Click
This
on
is
him.
Sam.
Boop.
That's Mike.
Hi-oh!
Big Mike.
That's
Jordan.
Jordan. And I'm
Good
Dave.
night.
Good night, everybody.
Night.